swinging away and socks this to deep left field. That is gone! Bryson
Wortham pulls for the ball. It's a chest line snap. Lewis down the middle of the field. He's going to go run. Has the intercepted! Intercepted, taking it down the far sideline. He steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. And that's how you cap the game up. Jabril White called game on his third interception of the evening.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand. Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
He finds Edwards. Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep three. Able to knock it down.
The counterattack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Balaji comes out. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus. Goal! And that is a DVC victory. And the Vikings are champions of California.
Welcome to the Coaches Show. Max Agrez here, joined alongside Diablo Valley College head coach Jimmy Collins. So, Coach, let's start with last Friday's game at Laney College. You're trailing 20-17 with under 5 minutes to go on the road, and you have to put together two critical offensive drives. You have one 74-yard drive that goes down the field, ties at 20-20 with a 30-yard field goal, and then you force a 3-and-out on the ensuing defensive possession, then go 71 yards to set up a 27-yard field goal to win it 23-20. What do you see from the team's composure going into that situation? And what does that gut check win do for the Vikings with one regular season game to go?
I think it's the type of win that championship caliber teams need to have. And I think it's another example of our team not flinching at adversity throughout the year. We've been put in a ton of tough situations. We have faced adversity throughout the year, and we just do not flinch, and we stay together. It's something we talked about for a long time. As a matter of fact, on Wednesday, was that in an era where you see a lot of teams have kind of three teams, sometimes two or three teams within a team, offense, defense, and special teams, this team is really united as one, and they interact with each other off the field, and it's not just offense and defense, it's a team, and the sideline is that way, and our special teams is that way, but our practice is that way. We do a lot of things where we blend our offense and defense together at practice to compete, and we compete a lot during practice, and the guys get to compete together and go through these adverse situations, and you're seeing it time and time again, whether for the third time in the season, we fumbled on the second play of the game, and the defense just goes out there, and early in the year, we fumbled on the second play of the game at Redwoods, and the defense didn't respond the way we would have liked and gave up a touchdown. Well, then literally the following week, we fumbled on the second play of the game against Sacramento, and the defense went out with just the right mentality, the right vibes, got an unbelievable stop. They did kick a long field goal, but it gave us a lot of momentum that we needed. We eventually routed off 41 unanswered there. And this week, against Laney, we fumbled on the second play of the game. And the defense, again, went out and just held. Obviously, Laney made a nice long field goal, a quality kick. But again, the situation that the guys were put in, they responded. And the guys have responded all year. I did something kind of out of the norm for us, trying to do a quarterback quick kick, and took Jaden off the sideline to do it. And it did not go the way anybody expected it to go. And nobody flinched. Nobody did anything except just go out there and keep playing. Again, go get another stop. And yeah, we're down 10-0. We're down 13-7. We're down 20-17. And like I said, for us to go the length of the field, take a knee to use our last time out to center the ball, and have Daniel, who finished the night now 3 for 3, drill a walk-off field goal down the middle of the field. And I'm telling you right now, we've missed some field goals this year. We've had some PAT issues. Our team has come together and really fixed that these last 3 weeks. There wasn't a person in our program that had a doubt that Daniel was going to drill that kick. And I think that more than anything speaks volumes to the character of our team, is that despite we had some issues early, we worked and talked and just put a lot of effort in as a group, and Daniel earned the opportunity to go do what he did. Everybody genuinely knew. There wasn't like, oh gosh, we struggled early in the year. It's like, no, this is where we are now, and this is where we need to be. And you need these gritty wins to try to continue to grow as a program. And I'm telling you, I was standing in the middle of that sideline. There was no angst. There was excitement for Daniel to get a chance to kick that walk-off. It was pretty cool.
And then he hits the night-night as he sprints down the field and the whole cavalry joins behind him. I think that really tells the story of how this team has come together and really just paints a picture of what you were describing there.
I appreciate it.
Now let's turn our attention to today. This one's got to feel pretty personal for you. You spent 9 years building the program over at City College of San Francisco before coming over to DVC. A lot of your former colleagues are still there over on the staff. What is it like preparing to face a program that you have so much history with against a staff that you know inside and out, and against a staff that knows you inside and out, how you call plays, and knows your tendencies?
I have to correct you there. I didn't build San Francisco at all.
Yes.
George Rush built that,
Yes.
and a lot of, and I was fortunate to be able to be the person chosen to take it over when Coach retired. But there were a lot of really capable people to take over. When my family and I moved away, that's what happened. This is the same success that they're having this year. It goes back to the history and the tradition that Coach Rush and Dan Hayes built. City College of San Francisco is the most, I mean, frankly, it's one of the most special places in my entire life. I played football there. I was lucky to get a chance to be an assistant coach there for 6 years. And then again, I was the head coach for 9 seasons. And my time at San Francisco prepared me and made me the candidate that I was to get the job at Diablo Valley. The life that my family is living out here, the opportunity I have to be able to build something, which is a unique career endeavor for me. And it's something that's been a lot of fun to have, just a totally different career challenge, but also with the opportunities that my family is having out here. None of that's possible without City College of San Francisco. And City College of San Francisco has changed a lot. That program's changed the lives of literally thousands of people. The success that they're having this year is just indicative of the tradition that's there, and it goes to George Rush. You know, it's exciting now to think that we took over a program a couple years ago that was 2-8, and we're sitting here playing for a league title against City College of San Francisco, and we're not even 18 months into this thing. Is pretty special and makes us feel really excited and proud of what we're doing as a program here. We've modeled a lot of things like San Francisco because that's all I know it is. The similarities between what that program looked like for 9 years and what we look like right now through 18 months is very similar. And I think at the top of the list of our priorities is giving guys a chance to transfer to 4-year colleges and be successful at the 4-year level. I think both of us are doing that. And we are really proud now at DVC to be among the elite junior colleges providing 4-year opportunities, and I think what a lot of people get excited about, Division I opportunities. But we have guys that were in backup roles a year ago with us that are starters at the Division II level. Jason Wade was just the player of the game for his team a week ago at Adams State. And so for us to sit here and look at all the opportunities that are being provided for our players and the opportunities that are being provided now, I mean, our recruiting is about to be, we got guys that have a lot of Division I scholarship offers when we get out of this calendar year into 2026. This team's loaded with D1 guys and loaded with guys that are going to go to 4-year schools. And so to sit here and say that, hey, Day 6 championship game with Diablo Valley and City College of San Francisco, I'll be frank, professionally, it's among one of my prouder accomplishments. It truly is.
And paying all the respect in the world to George Rush. 326, 93-4 in his career, 7 junior college national championship titles. So he deserves to get his flowers.
Lost the state championship game 7 times and 5 of them by a score. So, I mean, it's just like, it's crazy what Coach Rush did. And the guys that transferred, literally the lives that were changed, and the landscape of junior college football now is what it is because of George Rush and the influence that you see. Before this call, we were talking about parity. The way junior college programs are modeled, the way they're staffed, the way they work year round. You go and you watch any successful junior college football program in the state, specifically in the North, it is modeled after what George Rush pioneered and innovated. He is what modern day junior college football is. He is the godfather of, and that's really not debatable.
Finishing up my last point, with the staff that knows each other so well, they know your tendencies, you know theirs. How does that affect the game plan going forward?
I think at this level, your tendencies are really player driven year to year. You know, what we're doing on offense, what they're doing on defense, though there are some similarities, they're vastly different. I think the only things that are kind of similar from a year ago are special teams. I think the advantage probably is in their side, knowing me really, really well and philosophically where I come from. And a lot of guys came back after I left, but most of those guys were assistant coaches when I was the head coach for a period of time. So they're getting an opportunity to kind of put their touch on things, and they're doing a nice job with it. And so, yeah, I think there's some familiarity with us, but kind of the nature of what we do, it's not going to be an out scheme yet type deal. It's who's going to play well. What's going to happen is by the time the second half rolls around, it's going to be a bunch of young, really good football players out there playing against each other, competing as hard as they can, and in a really cool evening environment in Pleasant Hill. No doubt going to be a really cool evening.
What we saw on tape last week is probably not what we're going to see. We saw a lot of five-man fronts. We saw 'em all man-to-man. I don't know if they dropped into zone coverage a single time. Team really hasn't faced a great spread type of offense since about week 2 at Sequoias. On defense, do you expect them to be physical and play man-to-man, or will they change up their scheme a bit?
It's the question of the day, right? So, yeah, but you can see that they have evolved into the team that they are since about the second half of Game 5 versus Sierra in the league. You're correct that the matchups are very different, but I think the offenses that they have played have enabled them to find an identity in regard to really being a physical in your face pressure in regards to, like you said, they played a lot of 5-1, 5-2 man across the board, and they've played man to man pretty well. And I would imagine most people go into big games and you just kind of fall back on what you're trained to do best and what you do best. San Francisco's evolved as much as any team there is in the North right now from game 1 to game 10. It's a credit to their program. I'm telling you right now, I'm as interested to the answer to that question as everyone else is.
Thank you so much for your time, Coach. We'll be back after this break for kickoff here from Viking Stadium. Stay tuned. We've got a great one on our hands.
Friday Night Lights here from the campus of Diablo Valley College here in Pleasant Hill, California. Win and you're in. We have the number 9 ranked City College's San Francisco Rams coming to take on the number 7 ranked Diablo Valley College Vikings. So the playoff standings are a little bit confusing due to RPI, tiebreakers, and all that jazz, but hey, all you know is you control your own destiny. You get into the playoffs if you win and end up going 9-1. That is what is on the line for the Vikings. On the other side for City College, 7-2, 4-0 in Base 6 conference play after a massive upset victory against San Mateo College. And we've got a fun one on our hands here. DVC won the toss. They deferred. They'll kick it off, and they will be sending it over to an explosive quarterback in Darius Clark James. Jordan Sandoval, my analyst today. Max Agrest bringing you the coverage today. And we've got essentially playoff football here from Viking Stadium. Week 11, final regular season game of the season.
Yes, sir. We're in for a good matchup today.
Daniel Sokol will start us off, kicking it right to left. City College's San Francisco. Going to be sending out Imari Conley, the wide receiver, also the leading man on kick return, averaging about 25 yards per kickoff. And also Micah Hill will be the near side return man. C Murder blasting as always, sends his right leg into it, and an end-over-end kick will be fit on the far side by Conley. Conley with a little bit of a convoy in front of him, hash marks out to the 20-yard line, gets past the first line defenders, trying to turn the corner, eventually yanked down inside of the 45-yard line. A great 37-yard return by Conley, and an explosive start on special teams to set up this offense for City College. 30.7 points per game, top 20 in total yards per game, averaging 412 yards per game. And you cannot let this team get into the red zone. They are lethal, 96% once they get inside of that 20-yard line. You can see some spread, you can see some physical 12-man personnel, and that's what we're going to see here, right between the hash marks. It's Darius Clark James, the freshman out of Houston, Texas. He'll give it over the back, and that will be JT Foreman, who's back in the lineup, suiting up today for the first time since, about 3 games ago as a flag comes in late. Jeremiah Foney came in there to get the tackle.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 61.
Unsportsmanlike called on Jawan Dickey. Or no, pardon me. This is called against City College of San Francisco. That's on the center, and Brandon Tuison, the freshman, 5'10", 275, smaller center out of Seattle, Washington. And so all the great yardage you got on that kick return, right back at you. 15 yards as a killer.
CCSF, one of the most penalized teams in the state, I believe. And then
you are correct.
Already.
They are the most penalized team in the state. 15.2 penalties per game for the Rams.
We'll see how that plays into this game.
And so the down will stay here at second. So it's going to be 2nd down and 22 because the penalty happened after the play. Still in a heavy set, they'll stay on the ground on the left side rush for Foreman. And Foreman trying his best to floor his way forward, but only a gain of 3 on the play. Caleb Pilecki screaming off that edge to get the stop. Foreman, the 5'10", 200 sophomore out of Turlock, hasn't played since October 11th against San Jose City College. The former 3-star running back came here from Modesto College. And he has been getting the lion's share of the carries on this season and on the day. But in this situation, you really have to play discipline against Darius Clark James. He is a dynamic dual-threat quarterback. And it's a quick screen pass out to the forehand side, a broken tackle. Dragging defenders forward was Imari Conley, getting back to the original line of scrimmage. A 12-yard catch on the play, and the tackle made by Caden McIver. And just like that, the penalty forces City College into a 4th and 10, and they will send out the punt unit, a 3-and-out for the Vikings.
See, San Francisco definitely wants to establish a dominant run game. They're coming out in 2 tight end personnel, trying to get downhill. that'll be a focus for them on this game.
They'll come out in 12. They'll come out in 22 as well, where they have essentially 3 tight ends, but one of them lined up as an H-back. The punter here is Odom Kenny. He'll take the chest-high snap, booting it away. Jake Calcagno was the man deep, but that one was shaped off the legs of the City punter. That'll be only about a 21-yard punt on the play. The ball spotted down. Let's see where the official puts it. Looks like it's going to go to the 35-yard line. So only a 25-yard punt on the play, and that is where we'll see this explosive offense for the Vikings come in. 5th-ranked offense in terms of total yards per game. The #1 passing offense in the 3C2A, averaging 334 yards through the air. But they are a very balanced attack, led by Kalani McLeod here at quarterback. From the near hash mark, working right to left is McLeod. 5-step drop out of the gun, buying some time. Rolls out to his right, eyes still downfield, fires towards the sticks, and it's broken up on the play. A jostled catch as they were trying to get the ball over to Kai Taylor, who is back after missing last game, and it is 2nd down and 10. Jordan, that offensive line held up awfully well against the pass rush of City College there.
Yeah, they did. All week they've been trying to definitely anchor down on those tackle spots. City College usually goes with usually see a 5-man front, but against the DVC, they're definitely going to have to go 4.
And a quarterback keeper on the right-hand side for Kalani McLeod as he brings it forward for a gain of 5, eventually brought down by Kalike Cheeves, the sophomore out of Livermore.
Yeah, but as I was saying, they're going with the 4-down front here. Definitely a smarter choice as DVC's got some explosive receivers. You want to get more guys in coverage.
And this is where the Vikings want to succeed. When you're coming out here, you know this is a heavy man-to-man team, so you're lining up in a tight bunch off the near side of the field from this far hash mark. Natural rubs occur. Nearly jumping off sides, one of the defensive tackles. Jet motion for Dixon across the formation. It's a 3-step drop. McLeod stepping up, delivers across the middle of the field, and it's off the hands of Jake Calcagno. Uncharacteristic drop by one of the sturdy hands out of the redshirt sophomore from Cal High, and the Vikings will go 3-and-out to start. Just a few uncharacteristic plays by some sure-handed receivers. And for his 17th punt of the year, it's Jacob Johnson, the sophomore out of Livermore. Deep man most of the season has been Micah Hill. This one, a high, winding punt, forcing the man to retreat. Takes a dead bounce at the 2, but the momentum carries it just a little far ahead. JJ put a heck of a kick on that one, but unfortunately it goes into the end zone, and City College of San Francisco will go out to the 20-yard line as their next possession starts.
Yeah, that punt went way up in the air. That gets lost in the night sky. Definitely hard to see it coming down.
You know the leg that JJ has under him, and you saw it on display there.
See, San Francisco comes out. Looks like a...
Yeah, it looks like they're going to stay in that heavy personnel. They got that 12 personnel once again, 2 tight ends and a running back out of the pistol.
Yep, loading 2 tight ends to the left side motion.
And the Vikings coming out in a 5-man front of their own. Ball is dropped on the ground, just has to take a knee and eat the loss. Is Darian Clark James. So both sides just a little jittery here to start, as nerves are definitely showing throughout the opening part of the quarter.
Yeah, there's no doubt this is a big game. Playoff implications as far as seeding goes.
And that will be a loss of 5 yards for Clark James. Now you have to go in more of a spread look.
Yes, San Francisco going to go with the triple look, which is 1 tight end to the left, trips to the right.
And they will motion the receiver in Conley across the formation. 2nd down and 15. Quick screen pass over the forehand side. That'll go over to Conley once more as he finds the sideline. Getting a nice chunk on the play. We'll call it a gain of 10 before he's pushed out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Journey McCoy from his safety spot, able to save the 1st down on that tackle. But now they're back in rhythm. Once again, that same formation. 3 receivers to the near side, the lone tight end on the far side. Vikings leaving a big gap in the middle of that offensive line. They're going full out pass rush right now as 3 defensive linemen are all pushed out on the tight end side of the field. There's no one technique. I don't think I've ever seen any alignment like this from a defensive line. Late, they motion back to 1 and 3 technique. Speed option, quarterback keeper.
Ball's
Runs
loose.
down, the ball is loose. Falling on top of it is Journey McCoy. Just mistakes early on by both sides of the ball, and the first turnover of the game comes off a quarterback strip. Darius Clark James on that speed option, and the left side defensive end, I believe that was Caden McIver, came in, poked that ball out, and DVC gets the ball down to the 34-yard line.
That's putting the turnover circuit drills to work right there, just poking at the ball, trying to get turnovers.
Punch that peanut. That's what they teach you. Go in there, punch at that ball, and force a fumble. Vikings in some great opportunity here as they have a 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line of their opponents. Lining up in the bunch to the near hand side. Motions Ferrari Miller off that right side, and Ferrari is smoked in the backfield. Screaming off that edge was Cameron Beiser. And it is a loss of 1 on the first carry of the day for Ferrari Miller. Miller picked up an offer from UTEP last time we saw him a couple weeks ago. Got one from Texas Southern now. That sounds familiar. They played Cal up at Cal for, I believe, the first time a couple weeks ago. Going to be 2nd down and 10 now. Inside of 10 minutes to play here in our opening quarter. It's a 3-step drop, turns into a 5, rolls out to his left-hand side, space to run. Kalani McLeod out to the 30, top of the numbers, sideline 25. And he'll get right at that marker to gain a 1st down for McLeod. And that is the danger of playing man-to-man coverage. When you're going man all the way across, the backs of the defensive backs are turned to the quarterback. So if he extends, if the pass rush doesn't get there, you go ahead and pick up that 1st down with your legs.
Yeah, we're seeing Kalani move a little bit more on his own as far as rushing a little earlier in the game. He's usually a pocket passer, but when he has to, he'll break it.
Sidecar left out of the shotgun here for McLeod now. And then motion Miller over to the right-hand side. It is a 5-man front right now for San Francisco. Held up well, the go route down the sideline, drops into the bucket, couldn't get his feet down in time. Kai Taylor got a beat on the defensive back, but the sideline official said he stepped just a touch out of bounds before that play. Terrific throw, great timing with the air underneath that ball, but just couldn't quite connect with Kai Taylor, as Taylor in his first game back after missing that last one against Laney College. Vikings take the shot on 1st down, and you got to feel like it is going to be 4-down territory in this situation. 2nd down and 10. 3-step drop, buying time, rolls out, swarmed down, pressure off that right side by Cameron Beiser. 2 great plays for number 22 in white, and the 6'3", 225 defensive end out of Houston, Texas, brings the Vikings all the way back to the 38-yard line. Officially the 39-yard line. That'll be a loss of just about 14 on the play. So the Vikings need a big chunk here to even attempt a field goal. That is what happens when you play that 5-man front. When they get there, they make you pay. Trying to use the hard count. Had that freeze call at the line was McLeod looking towards the sideline. Gets the call in now. Chest eye snap. Steps up in the pocket. Breaks through 1 tackle. Late delivery. Sideline catch. And it's Turion Dickey staring it into the 10-yard line. 29-yard reception on the play for the redshirt sophomore out of Arlington High. You know, when you got talent all across the board like that, you got to feel pretty darn good. You've got Division I wide receivers at multiple spots on the field. And when they have some space, they can get open. And just a really good job here by Jurion Dickey as the Vikings will send in Jaden Macedo here in the red zone. From the 10-yard line, Macedo on the keeper. Space on the left side. Hits the circle button down to the 4. A 6-yard rush for the sophomore out of Cal High. And they'll say his knee touchdown at the 5. It's second down and goal from the 5. Miles Moore checking in. Vikings going with the heavy set here. And we can get Jaden Macedo in the game in the red zone. His legs just transform the way you have to play defense.
Yeah, he's just so dynamic. Good change of direction.
And Jaden Macedo, quarterback keeper all the way, turns the corner, dives into the end zone, and it's the Vikings 6 and the Rams 0 to start. That is just quarterback sweep all the way. Had a lead blocker with Ferrari Miller there, and the Vikings take it in for the touchdown. Capitalizing off the turnover, 34 yards later, it's a touchdown for the number 7 ranked team in the 3C2A. Snap is down, the hold is good, kick is up, crosses the T on the PAT, and it's 7-0 Vikings to get us started here. 6:58 remaining here in the first quarter play as we take our first timeout here on DVC Vikings Live. So after a couple 3-and-outs, it was a turnover from City College of San Francisco that results in 7 points for the Vikings, and their offense has been on full display. We've seen the arm of Kalani McLeod. We've seen the running game. Usually it's with Ferrari Miller, but in this situation, 2 rushes from Macedo 10 yards later, and it's 7 on the board to start for the Vikes.
Warren Brown is out today. He's a big special teams player, so see who fills in for him well here.
Yeah, it's really underrated when you're missing one of your players on special teams. We've seen it with the Raiders. We saw it in that game last night. A snoozer for most people, but when you have an injured player and another person stepping in, it really changes your design here. This one returned up the near hash mark, breaking some space out to the 40-yard line, and another big return, a 32-yard return on the play. It looked like number 20 and Warren Brown alongside Amani Holiday came in there to make the tackle. This will be another great starting field position for the Rams now as they've started both their possessions inside of the 40-yard line. Tied in on that right side with that 3-receiver look to the forehand side. Between the hash marks here. Staying on the ground, lead blocker for the quarterback runs into his own defender as he's eventually brought down after a rush of 2 yards, and he fumbles the ball once more. Scraping at that thing was Aaron Woodard. And if that had been a little further in play, that would have been the second fumble lost. But unfortunately for the Vikings, it is a 12-yard run there by Darius Clark-James as he was stripped out of bounds.
Good lead block right there by number 54, George Dragovich.
Yeah,
Just falling behind that puller right there, gave him a crease to get open for those yards right there.
And a great job there by Zachary Black as well, just as the lead blocker from his running back position. Single high look here for the Vikings from the near hash mark. It's a RPO, quick pass, and all 3 catches today have gone the way of Imari Conley as he picks up a nice chunk of 6 on the play. Journey McCoy and Santino Acevedo got in there to make it second down and 5. Imari Conley, man, this guy is a dynamic athlete. Went to San Jose State out of high school, ran track there as he redshirted his freshman year over at San Jose State, ended up going to City College of Fresno last year, and now he is with City College of San Francisco. You cannot let him get some space because he will be able to rip a big one up. pistol look with the out back off the left-hand side for Clark James. Give over to the back, left side, diving down, pushing the pile. A pickup of 6 on the play. And it's a first down for JT Foreman as San Francisco finding their gear here with 5:15 remaining. Andre Tarver Jr., the running back in the backfield now. And they're just living out of these 3 receiver sets are the Rams. Far hash mark, trips to the near side, tight end off the left side of the offensive line. Vikings in the one high shell. Read option, quarterback keeper up the middle, breaks 1 tackle, 1 defender to miss, cuts it back inside, jukes the defender out to the 10-yard line, turns the corner, and he's in for the touchdown. 35 yards, the dynamic athletic ability of Darius Clark James on display. The dual threat quarterback rips the Vikings defense loose, and it's 6-7 with the Rams answering the Vikings score.
Yeah, Darius Clark James does a great job of holding that mesh point until he's finally declares to go run the ball. And one thing I can say as a player in those defensive meetings is that we definitely emphasized how much of a dynamic player number 3 is with the ability to run the ball.
Ryan Rodas knocks this one through the uprights, and we're all tied up 7 apiece, 4:40 remaining. Darius Clark James, the Week 9 Offensive Player of the Week in the NCFC after his performance against Foothill. 17 for 26, 347 yards, 4 touchdowns, also had 4 rushes for 60 yards. He's a real dynamic quarterback. Usually when you see guys say, hey, I run a 4.5 40, you're like, all right, buddy. Yeah, sure, you run a 4.5 40. Yeah, I bet you run 4.4 laser. But in this case, the man's got some wheels. I can believe it. A track and field athlete as well, running a 10,900-meter dash. So you have to play discipline. And those defensive ends who did such a good job to start the game, getting torn up a little bit there. Elijah Bowe, as well as Jurion Dickey, the 2 deep men for the Vikings on the right side. And it is the kicker in Odron Kenny to kick this one off left to right. We can hear the coaching staff for City College yelling at something about something being on the wrong side as they were split about 5 feet to our right. Arm up in the air. Kenny puts his leg under this one, and this one will be fielded down by Bo at the 11-yard line. Taking up the 4 hash mark out to the 20-yard line, stays on his feet, breaks through a tackle. He slipped loose out to the 40. And it's the punter slash kicker taking Bo down to the 49-yard line. Just a pinball shot out of a cannon. Bo broke about 4 different tackles on the play.
Yeah, we call him Ebo. He's got that low center of gravity. He's got that ability to truck people. He's got some strength in those legs.
Oh,
for sure.
Just running over that defender and then just gets tripped up by Odron Kenny. And this has been a game of great starting field position as the Vikings will get the ball from right at midfield. Straight at the 50-yard line from the 4 hash mark. The Vikings will send up Kalani McLeod once more.
He goes 3 receivers set to the left side.
McLeod 1 for 4, 29 yards to start that big ball over to Jurion Dickey. Let's see if they elect to go with Ferrari Miller in the running game here as the clock winds down. And let's see if the timeout was taken in time. I don't think the Vikings were able to get there. Delay of the game will send it out to a 1st and 15. No, Vikings are able to take the timeout. So with the timeout, we'll take it as well here on DVC Vikings Live. Elijah Bowe shaking up a little bit at the end of the play. Hopefully he's back and active for the next reserve on offense, but he is definitely a star on special teams as the Vikings coming out in that the three wide receiver look once more. 5-man rush. McLeod off his back foot, able to deliver across on the slant. Jake Calcagno with an 11-yard pickup on the play. And it's the safety, Kahanu Kalihiki, the freshman out of Kaimuki, Hawaii. Went to Kamehameha High School. Shouts out to Dragon Ball Z.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Quick pass, pump fakes, rolls out to his left. Great blocking there and finds his man. And it is Kai Taylor down to the 20-yard line. A jump cut inside, hit to his back, down to the 15-yard line. 25-yard reception on the play for Kai Taylor, and that was all created off the legs and scrambling of Kalani McLeod. Vikings hurrying to the ball right now. They will live out of this 3-receiver set against the man coverage of City College. Screen pass, middle of the field, plenty of space, and Miller's in for the touchdown. Back-to-back scores for the Vikings, and it's a beautifully drawn-up play design that opens the C up for Miller to go in for 6. When you show all that pressure, you leave some space up the gut, and that was just such a good job on the play design.
Yeah, 62, Jaden Hoskins right there, the center, does a good job of cutting off that linebacker from playing sideline to sideline there, and then just following Charlie all the way to the promised land right there.
And before Sokol's PAT is up, we get a flag on the play. This might be a false start in the Vikings. But even going down to the X's and O's in the situation, Coach Black and Coach Collins drawing up that play, you're setting up Miller so far to the right-hand side, he's almost like he's an H-back to the line of the quarterback 5 yards deep. So instead of having to come out and run an arrow route of sorts, you're going out there and you're basically running a slant out of the backfield, and that allows him to open it up and score that touchdown. So this ball will be brought back to the 8-yard line, and it'll be an 18-yard PAT attempt. And the PAT is good. No harm, no foul, and it's 14-7 as DVC has the advantage once more. 3:30 remaining in the opening quarter, and we have seen some fireworks.
See if DVC special teams here can
get a big boom hit.
Get some better coverage downfield.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
San Francisco's been able to get some good yardage off those kick returns.
Averaging over 35 yards a return up to this point. And really, like you said, it kind of goes back down to some of the injuries that you got on special teams. Some of those guys that haven't necessarily been gunners or holding your lane discipline, you've got to be back in those horizontal lanes. Jotting forward, sends a little bit of a pooch kick that'll bounce down and be caught to the 12-yard line. Cutting it back off the left side, another missed tackle here for the Vikings as the return man able to get to the 35-yard line, stepping out of bounds to the 40. A 29-yard return, and they are living here at the 40-yard line to start of the Rams. So another great return there by Imari Conley. And that ball spotted down to the 40-yard line. And that is where City College of San Francisco will take it once more. Really, all the passes that we've seen up to this point have been quick bubble screens and then just trying to use the athleticism of Darius Clark-James.
Yeah, that's the RPO they like to run. Didn't expect that a lot tonight.
And they run the RPO once more. This time a missed tackle right at the line of scrimmage, but the second man able to get there in time. Targeting Imari Conley once more. And Marley Alapani came through with the second wave. Just a really good job by the outside linebacker, able to get to that spot. Only a gain of 1 on the play. So you can take it glass half full or glass half empty. Glass half empty, you're missing another tackle. But people swarming to the ball is the positive perspective in that regard.
Yeah, that's something that's preached a lot in our defensive meetings, swarming to the ball and You can see why.
Too high shell. Quarterback keeper on their zone read once more. Space along the near side numbers. And between the numbers and the hash mark, it's a tackle made by Santino Acevedo as it's another big run by Darius Clark-James. Let's see where they marked him down to. That'll be about a 17-yard rush off the legs of Darius Clark-James as he is the leading rusher in the game. I mean, I don't even think you can call that one a read option at this point. He just has his running back sprint in front of him, and he just falls right behind his rear end. Physicality is how San Francisco loves to play, and you'll see it once more with this 12 personnel. A give off to the back this time, swicking off that right side of the line. And it's a nice rush from Zachary Black, able to pick up 8 on the play before he's taken to the floor by Jeff Holden.
Something interesting to know is that number 3, their quarterback, is actually the leading rusher on their team, followed by their running backs.
Came into the game with 348 yards, as well as 3 touchdowns. And something to factor in as well is sack yardage, which he has been sacked a lot to start the year, does in fact affect your rushing yardage here at the JUCO level. Really good job scraping down that line, getting the tackle there by Jeff Holden, holding the quarterback to a 3rd down, only a gain of 1 on the play. They are bringing in number 91 now, so a defensive lineman is checking into the game to play some fullback. That's Verdugo DeVoe, the 6', 255 defensive tackle out of Riverton, Utah. Very heavy personnel here. Give over the back. Nope, it's a bubble screen, and he falls to the floor, losing half a yard on the play. Now they'll say he got right down to the original line of scrimmage. They tried to target the tight end in James Welsh on the 2nd reception of the season. It'll bring up 4th down. We saw this early in the year, bend but don't break, and that's what the Vikings need to do in this situation here. Leading 14-7 with 25 seconds remaining. City doesn't need to take another play in this half, or in this quarter, I should say.
I expect another RPO here. Most likely a quarterback keeper again. He's been having so much success.
Vikings with a full-out blitz. No space to go. Vikings get the stop. A tackle for loss on the play, and a turnover on downs with 7 seconds remaining. A full-out run blitz, and it is Aaron Woodard scraping off that edge once more to get the stop. Ball will be spotted down to, they're going to say this is down to the 31.5-yard line as City College turns it over on downs. And a gritty stop here from the Vikings defense. Let's see if their offense can kick into gear once more. You know, when you go to the bag of tricks so many times, you start to have a give, or a tell, I should say. And that's exactly what happened. Vikings sending out their freshman quarterback out of Vannon and McLeod, a screen pass to the middle of the field. And there was no space to work with there by Jurion Dickey, only a gain of 2 on the play. And that'll send us to the end of the first quarter. The tackle was made by Kaliki Cheeves. And the score after 15 minutes of play, 14 DVC, 7 City College of San Francisco. Going to the next 15 minutes here in the second quarter on DVC Vikings Live. 14-7 the score here as DVC has the 14-7 advantage, flipping the sides of the field, going left to right. It is 2nd down and 8. McLeod with the check from the far hash mark. 2 receivers split to the near hand side, and they'll give it over to Miller as Miller, patient with his rush, able to earn about 6 yards on the play. Coming off that defensive end spot was Cameron Beiser once again. He is having a great game up to this point. Vikings hurry to the ball. Another handoff, some patient running and chiseling through that defensive front. Ferrari Miller with a gain of 5 on the play before he's taken down by Dion Williams. I really like the use of tempo in that situation for the Vikings as there is a player hurt on the field for City College of San Francisco. That looks to be number 22. That is the freshman defensive end in Cameron Beiser. So this would be a big loss if he isn't able to come back. So with the injury on the field, let's take the timeout as well here on DVC Vikings Live. So hopping off to the trainer's table is Cameron Beiser, the freshman out of Houston, Texas. That defensive end has been making some great plays, had a sack. And the play clock will reset as the Vikings will get a fresh set of downs here. 1st down and 10 from the 40-yard line after that rush from Ferrari Miller.
Going to come out in a quads like 2 receivers on each side.
Yeah, just a traditional spread shotgun look here. McLeod between the hash marks. Quick pass over to Jurion Dickey out to the 50-yard line. The 45 stays on his feet out to the 40, reversing the field near sideline out to the 35, the 30, out of bounds to the 27-yard line. 33 yards, and that play was all Jurion. Just ran the slant across the middle of the field, somehow broke out after the defender was just all up inside of his legs and just reversed the field to gain a bunch more yards.
1st and 10, Vikes.
That is the dynamic skill set of a former 5-star receiver. This time the rush off the left-hand side with the pulling guard in front of him. A nice pickup of 8 yards on the play.
Good job there by Zahir Young. That pulling guard, as you said right there. Ferrari coming right off his behind.
Yeah, just follow your blocker. That's what they teach you. 2nd down and 2 now. And a timeout taken on the field. City College will take this timeout, so 2 timeouts apiece, and we'll keep it here for the timeout. And so, a really physical play from City's defensive front early on, but since then, it seems like the Vikings have started to find their lanes and just really good job with the down blocking. So when you're running power and you're pulling a guard around the corner, what happens is you have to have your center or tackle going ahead and down blocking that situation. And that is a pretty difficult thing to do, because what you're taught as a defensive lineman is to chase the rear end of the pulling guard so you can get to that play. So it is really hard and really physical to get to that spot. So this is a great sign to see for DVC's offensive line against a very talented front from City College.
Yeah, then a good scheme on that last play with Jurion, running a quick slant underneath the vertical route right there by the inside receiver. Gets him open. Then he's using that 6'2 frame to stay up.
Jurion Dickey, a former 5-star recruit, top 10 nationally. Fortunately for the Vikings, able to drop down into the lap this year. They haven't had the opportunity to use him too much, but when he has gotten the opportunity to get the balls in his hand, man, he has been electric. Handoff right side. Another blocker in front of him. Down to the 15-yard line. Another chunk of yards, and it's a 7-yard rush from Ferrari Miller as he's taken down by Kawi Maluia. Expect to see that name called a lot. Kawi Maluia, former state champion over at Bishop Gorman High, one of the best high schools out in Las Vegas, Nevada. Had 2 FCS offers out of high school. Went the JUCO route instead. A miscommunication here as the Vikings have to send this one away. And a great job there by Jake Calcagno to just throw that ball into the dirt. Got outside of the tackle box, had enough arm to get right back to the line of scrimmage. And I don't know if that was a designed double pass, but there was something messed up with the mesh point.
Yeah, two Vikes ran into each other on that exchange.
Yeah, it was Ferrari Miller coming, and then cutting right in between them was Calcagno. Vikings very lucky to be able to just get away with that one there. Instead of the essentially avoiding the spot foul, Vikings just get lucky with the tip ball. McLeod sets up the screenplay. Too much pressure in his face, has to throw that one to the dirt. Great job on the rush there by Kawi Maluia with the pressure from the blitz. And it is 3rd down and 10 now from the 15. From this spot, it'd be about a 32-yard field goal attempt. We saw Sokol go 3 for 3 last week against Laney College. His long in that game was 30. So this is definitely in the wheelhouse of Daniel Sokol, but obviously you want to look to extend your lead by 6 or 7, not by 3. Score is 14-7, 12:43 remaining, and Vikings facing a 3rd down and 10 from the 15. Far hash mark, 3 receivers set, man-to-man coverage all across the board, 1 high safety. McLeod standing tall, throws the goal route near sideline, bump grind, and broken up. The sideline official did not call pass interference on the play. They tried to throw the go route over to Jurion. He taps his chest saying, hey, I should have gotten it. But in that situation, man, a little difficult there by the official not throwing the flag. As a defensive back, you're really taught to turn your head and play the ball, but in that situation, he was just all up inside the body of Jurion Dickey. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, you can see there the Vikings receiver splits are closer. They're trying to get some space. As we were talking about earlier, San Francisco running that man.
32-yard attempt, plenty of leg, and the accuracy is good. Daniel Sokol has been automatic the last few weeks for the Vikings, and the score is 17-7 with 12:37 remaining in the second quarter of play. But getting back to your point, yeah, especially when you're playing that right up press man-to-man coverage, if you tighten up that bunch look that we're seeing, it's just those natural picks perform even better. Vikings just doing a really good job play designing across the board. Micah Hill, Imari Conley, the 2 deep men. And it looks like they're straight up going with a 1 deep man look down to the 2-yard line. Daniel Sokol, after knocking down that field goal, looking to boot this one away. Jurion Dickey has been fighting through some injuries early on throughout the year, but when it has mattered the most, the Vikings are healthy. And there are not very many injured players across the board for the Vikings going into week 11. Angle kick here for the Vikings. This will bounce down to the 25-yard line and actually be fielded by one of the upbacks as he's able to scoot his way down the far hash mark, bringing the ball all the way out to the 38-yard line. About an 8-yard return on the play.
Speaking of Jurion, that was him that made the tackle right there. He was hustling.
And you love to see that. You may be a big-time player, but nobody's too big to be bigger than the team. Going out there as a gunner on special teams, getting the tackle, and still a good starting field position for City College. But the ball will be spotted down to the 37-yard line. This is technically their worst starting field position off of the kickoff. Vikings able to get the stop and the turnover on downs last time out on the field. And now will it be the legs or the arms of Clark James? Instead, a handoff over the back. Hog-tied down to the 2-yard line as he was taken down by Remy Oshewa, the sophomore out of Doherty Valley. That carry was by Zachary Black, the 5'9", 160 redshirt sophomore, out of Los Angeles. And when you look, when you look at this roster all across the board for City College of San Francisco, you got some California talent, but they recruit all about. You got Utah, you got Nevada, you got, some guys out in Colorado as well. And you've got a lot of bounce back from Division I programs. Quarterback lead. And just laying his helmet down low, brought down to the 46-yard line was Darius Clark James. Wesley Garton came in there to get the stop, and it is 3rd down and 2. Yeah, they came out in a shotgun flex bone essentially and just went, hey, 3 lead blockers for our guy.
It's 3rd and 2.
And at 3rd and 2, they are in a passing formation here. 3 receivers to the near hand side. Clark James out of the shotgun. Calls for the ball. Give over the back. Nope, it's another quarterback keeper. Reaches the ball forward, able to get the first down past the 50-yard line, down to the 47. Wesley Garden and Santino Acevedo getting inside, and I think at this point, if you're a linebacker, you just got to trigger in and try to blow up that mesh point. It doesn't matter who has the ball. Just hit a guy, right?
Yes. That's something they talked about this week, and the thing about this triples formation is you got the threat of run and pass still because of that tight end on the single side.
And it will be a handoff off the right-hand side to JT Foreman, and Foreman able to get a productive carry of 8 yards on the play. Journey McCoy from the safety spot with that tackle. And there's something going on with that right side of the offensive line. They obviously have a lot of strength. You have Tony Perez, the sophomore on the right-hand side, 6'3", 310. And you have the 6'4", 295 tackle out of El Cerrito High School, and Celesi Mafuhingano. But, you know, a holding call will bring that one back.
Can you please set the game clock to 10 minutes and 42 seconds?
Play clock will be set back to 10:42. And this is where the Vikings have had a lot of success. Like we talked about, the most penalized team in the 3C2A in the Rams. When you get behind the chains, this is where you struggle. 1st down and 20. Now you can't really get into these obvious rushing situations. Turn off the reverse handoff. And this time, Foreman stacked up after a gain of 4. A really good job reaching his arm out to stop him in the moment was Caden McIver.
Yeah, and as we talked about in prior games, I mean, once you get a penalty like that, the percentage of first down just goes down by such a big margin.
Yeah, I believe when you're in 1st down and 20, your percentage to convert is only at about an 18% chance. And really, that's how you call offense. You play the percentages. You get into situations that allow you to either go for it on 4th down or have an easy conversion on 3rd down. You're going for the high percentage plays, not necessarily those home runs. Another give, and a really good job as that ball is popped out once again. The Vikings try to scoop it up, but it looks like the man was down on the play. The carry was by Andre Tarver Jr., and they'll say he was down right at that line of scrimmage to make it 3rd down and 10 after a rush of 6. But the Vikings doing a really good job just continually scraping at that ball. That's what you love to see. The Vikings defense came into this one 57th in the state in forced fumble recoveries. as well as 45th with 8 interceptions.
Empty look here.
Yeah. Watch out for the quarterback draw. This is always still alive here. If Clark James doesn't see his look open right away, you got to stay disciplined on your rush because he can rip one loose, as we've seen.
Yeah, the edges cannot fly up the field. They've got to be able to turn it flat and get to the quarterback.
Stepping up in the pocket, delivering across the middle, thrown behind his intended receiver. Amari Conley had a little bit of space inside, but the looming threat of the safety over the top, I believe that was Davian Sherlock, just forced the off throw there, and the Vikings likely going to force a punt situation here on 4th down and 10 from the opponent 42. Odrin Kenny going back out, and in this situation, you really have to be alert for any sort of fake punt situation as well. Cal Cagno, the deep man. No fake in store. This time, a high winding punt. It's going to be short down to the 14-yard line. Taking a Rams bounce inside of the 10-yard line, flipping the sides of the field, and a good job there by Odrin Kenny as he gets his 11th punt inside of the 20, and the ball will be at the 8-yard line. Vikings have scored the last 3 drives. 9:01 remaining here in the opening half. And the Vikings with the 10-point advantage over the number 9 team in California. So the way the situation works, win and you're in, the Vikings will get a guaranteed berth if they were able to get the victory today, and they'll get a share of the Base 6 title, as the lone undefeated team is the Rams at 4-0.
Yeah, 3-way tie between the Vikes, San Fran, and then CSM, of course.
And the running back is Ferguson, as Ferguson tackled down behind the line of scrimmage, as it was Jaden Macedo who was able to pitch that ball over to him. Flag is on the field, and the Vikings likely going to get half the distance to goal on the hold. Let's see what they call this on.
Face mask. Personal foul. Face mask.
Ooh. Those penalties just continue to haunt the Rams. A face mask would give a 15-yard penalty and what would have been a tackle for loss.
Yep, most penalized team in the state. It's coming to bite them now. And you got to expect they're going to stay with that 4-down front.
Yeah, I don't think you can go a 5-man front against this explosive Vikings offense. So the penalties have not reflected in our live stats, unfortunately. But I believe that is the 4th penalty on the day for City College. Staying on the ground, and this time it's a quarterback keeper. Wrangled down on the right-hand side. A terrific job there by the linebacker, Kaui Maluia, just reading the quarterback, and that was a perfect job on the spy.
Yeah, good discipline right there, being able to leverage properly and make the tackle there off that RPO.
And you know, when Jaden Macedo's in the game, he's not just a running guy. He's a true dual-threat guy, and he could be a starting quarterback in any other program in the 3C2A. One of those games we saw against Redwoods, he was 10 for 10 in his stints. So here on 2nd down and 11, a passing situation for the Vikings here. 4-man front, stepping up, throws the go route to Kai Taylor, brings it in on his back shoulder, down to the 44-yard line, and the Vikings able to get an explosive play out the pass. And it is about a 30 yards later for the first down.
And it's just as you said, Jaden's an accurate quarterback. He can rip the ball too.
Yeah, we saw it. But this is the hard part when you have 2 different quarterbacks. That ball was just thrown a little bit behind
slightly,
Taylor.
yeah.
If that was put just in front of him, that's in for 6. But still another big pickup. And Macedo is ripping it early. Another ball down the sideline. Throwing a double coverage, a one-hand reach, and that's an interception. Let's see what this flag is on. A terrific job there by the defensive back, going up and doing his best OBJ impression. It looks like it was Bryce Hecker, the nickel corner, who went up and just snared that one. Let's see.
Holding. Defense.
Holding on the defense.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
32 was called on the hold.
That's number 2.
Pardon me, that is number 2 who was called on the hold. And that's an interesting situation. Junior Adams, the defensive end, was the man who was called on the hold. Typically, you'd think it'd be a corner or a linebacker who's called for a hold on a wide receiver, but instead, a hold on the defensive end takes away a highlight play there by Bryce Hecker. The Wazoo commit unable to get the highlight play, and the Vikings offense will continue here from the 32. Quarterback keeper off a mismesh, spinning down to the 31-yard line. Just a really hard-fought job to get back to the line of scrimmage on what looked to be a mismesh between Ferguson and Macedo. This is some of the most playing time we've seen up to this point for Jurion Dickey, as he will check in for Amani Affadil. Dickey, the far-side receiver alongside Cal Cagno, and the inside-most guy on the far-hand side trips is Miles Dixon. From the near hash mark, it's Macedo once more. Kai Taylor, lone receiver to the near side. 3-step drop, pressure comes into his face, swarmed down in the second sack of the day. On the blitz, Sonny Vitale. And Sonny Vitale, pardon me, out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Sends the Vikings all the way back. That is a big loss of yards, and will bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, San Francisco's not going with the five-man front, but
They're still
dialing
five-man pressure.
They're bringing those pressures with the linebackers. So,
and Sonny Vitale as well as Calvi Maluia are the 2 main linebackers. And the Vikings have an opportunity here. One high shell. This is likely going to be man-to-man coverage. Instead, a zone look. Macedo across the field, batted away. Great job on the play by Kaliki Cheese. Swatted that ball away before it was able to get to Kai Taylor's hands. And the Vikings have an interesting situation alongside them now. It is 4th down and 15 from the 37-yard line. You're out of field goal range. It hurts to punt, but that's the right call. City College able to get the stop after the Vikings scored on their last 3 possessions. And a flop here from number 4 on special teams for City College. Kaliki Chiefs, who was in there on special teams, trying to catch a flop after an offensive lineman was running off the field for the Vikings. JJ, high end over end punt, has the forward spin down inside of the 5-yard line, takes a dead bounce to the 6, and that is a great job done by one of the best punters in the state. The 5-star punter out of Livermore, California, drops that ball down to the 11-yard line, and the Vikings will force a 89-yard field in front of the Rams.
First down for CCSF, 5:39 remaining in the first half.
31-yard punt dropped right down to the 11-yard line. I don't know if JJ plays golf. I feel like this man would be a heck of a golfer. Just has so much ball control in these situations. Motions the tight end to the right side of the formation. That's the heavy side now. Handoff, right side, nowhere to go. Swarmed down immediately on the pickup. That looked like Io Phillips, the freshman out of University Place, Washington, gets the tackle for loss. Marley Alapati also got inside there as well.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Tarver Jr. with the injuries over to JT Foreman and Michael Dabney has been the main back the last few games. The transfer over from Valparaiso from a couple years back.
San Fran's going to go with what we call an ace wing, which is one tight end lined up on the line of scrimmage and one off the ball.
And there's nowhere to go for that quarterback. Just a hard hit and back-to-back plays by Io Phillips. Man, he is punishing the quarterback and the running back.
Big punch from number 40, Io Phillips.
Phillips, the 3-sport athlete out of Washington, had Division II and NANA offers out of high school. But I can tell you, I'm glad to see him in that Viking green.
3rd down.
JT Foreman checks back in here on 3rd down and 12. He's got 9 catches on the year. He can be a receiving threat here out of the shotgun spread between the hashes, working right to left. Clark James, quick bubble screen, nowhere to go. That one was perfectly read by the defensive back. Jeffrey Holden has been in the film room. That bubble screen was immediately tackled, and the Vikings force a 3-and-out all the way back to the 2-yard line. And let's see if we see some pressure here on special teams.
Yeah, great effort overall by all the levels of defense, from the D-line to the linebackers to the DBs right there. Great read by Jeff.
Kyle Cagnon will have his heels inside of the 45-yard line. And Kenny will come back. Had one punt block this year. The Vikings, you've got to believe, is going to send pressure in the situation. Only 10 seconds left in the play clock here. It'll be a very shallow punt in this situation for the punter. Only a 12-yard distance here. The long snapper is Elijah Vasquez. Vikings elect to just drop back and play coverage. A great boot there by the punter. And it's fielded down to the 50-yard line. Breaks down the defender, top of the numbers 40. Space on the far sideline, 20, 10, 5. Knocked out of bounds inside of the 10-yard line. They'll say he stepped out of bounds right at the 9-yard line. And hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy on the freaking microphone. A 48-yard punt return for Cal Cagno.
Jake does a good job making that first initial move, making that first guy miss, and it's just all speed from there down the sideline.
Hey, when you got a guy like Jake there, you don't need to try to go for a block and put yourself in a dangerous position and possibly rough the punter. Just go ahead and, hey, let's get this ball down inside of the 10-yard line, get first and goal with 3 minutes remaining.
First and goal from the 9 for the Vikes at 3:02.
McLeod and Miller back into the backfield for the Vikings here inside of the 10-yard line to the 9. Motions Dixon across the formation from the far side. Hash mark is McLeod. Sprint right. McLeod looking sideline, throws it short. This one's caught by, that is Dixon with a gain of 3 on the play. Bryce Heckard came up and made the tackle on the play. And it's second down to go from the 6.
Gain of 3 to the 6-yard line. Second and goal.
And in this situation, when you're so tight in the end zone, if you would like to go play man-to-man coverage, these rub routes really disrupt the defense, and expect to see some more shallow balls by the Vikings. It's going to be a sprint to the left. It's Macedo who snuck it at quarterback, diving over the top, and he's down to the half-yard line. Jaden Macedo with a quick substitution uses his legs to make it 3rd down and inches.
You see 2 tight ends coming now. They're going to go with the heavier set here. Try to punch the ball in.
You don't really ever see the Vikings go under center. Have you guys really even practiced a tush push in this situation?
No, we have never. I can say that.
So a tush push is likely going to be out of the situation here. But with the way that the Vikings have been running the ball, expect that legs of number 2 to go ahead and punch this one in. But before then, we got the 2-minute timeout. It's 17-7 as the Vikings have the lead over the 4-0 in base 6 play Rams. And the Vikings looking to punch one in from 3rd and inches on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings Live. The Hall of Fame voice of John Brown, the PA announcer here at Vikings Stadium, making everybody laugh. Stolen a few lines from him. Can't lie about that. So the Vikings will come out in a pistol look here on 3rd down and inches. Tatting off the right-hand side is Elfadil. Under center, quickly snap, and it's Kalani McLeod who came in to take the snap under center as he dives in for the rushing touchdown.
Well, no tush push, but a QB sneak there.
And a surprise QB sneak as it's the 3rd touchdown rushing on the year for Kalani McLeod, and the Vikings are in for 6. 23-7.
Just that quick shift into under center.
Yeah, I was about to go on my whole entire rant about, you got to go under center on the inch-yard line. But, hey, in this situation, they do. Bryce Fusick, the holder. Long snapper in Andy Arias. And Sokol able to split the Spears. 24-7. Vikings with an explosive start on the day. And the Vikings are putting a beating on the Rams early. So getting into it a little bit more. So the way the playoff situations work, essentially, if DVC wins today and CSM wins against Laney tomorrow, the Bay 6 title will be split between a 3-way tie for the league championship between City College of San Francisco, College of San Mateo, and Diablo Valley College. That'll go down to RPI and all those tiebreakers that, honestly, I'm not going to touch. I'm going to let that one slide out. In the situation, if DVC wins and CSM loses, then DVC will win the Bay 6. So, assuming everything goes the way of DVC's choosing, as it has up to this point today, 24-7. You got to root for the Eagles tomorrow at CSM to get the victory. Jalen Brown will be the lone deep man, and the Vikings will kick it right over to the near side, which is fielded by one of the up back down to the 15-yard line. Vikings kickoff coverage today has not been good, as this ball would go out to the 40-yard line. 39-yard return on the play. And that was Imari Conley who stepped back to take it.
Yeah, KOR for San Francisco has been great this game. They're putting them in great field position.
Garrett Isamonu able to get the tackle out of play. Offsides on the kicking team will get another 5 yards to put them firmly inside of the 40-yard line. And so, on a negative note, yes, you got to get your kickoff coverage going. That needs to happen. That just is unacceptable. But on a positive note, the Vikings have been sending away City College of San Francisco. And this ball is going to go all the way down to, I think they got a mistake here with the chain gain. Everybody moved up as if it was a hold, and instead it's only a 5-yard variety of a penalty as this ball spotted down to the 43-yard line. But yeah, the Vikings have been doing a really good job just holding City College of San Francisco into these bad situations, aided by penalties as well. Passing situation here for Darius Clark. 2 timeouts, and it's a false start on the left side, likely.
Something interesting here. Caden McIver, number 15, is lined up as a linebacker. He's usually coming off the edge.
Caden McIver, usually an edge rusher. Forced the false start there from Frankie Petulia. But with the skill set of McIver, he was a 2-star linebacker out of Bishop O'Dowd before coming and switching to that defensive end spot, so he does have that linebacker skill set in his back pocket when he needs it. 3 receivers on the shotgun spread. Clark James, a 3-step drop, rolls out, right-hand side, avoids the pressure, throws at the last possible second, intercepted to the 40-yard line. Journey McCoy doing a terrific job reading the eyes of the quarterback. And Darius Clark James wants that ball back. Vikings take the ball to the 41-yard line. 2 timeouts remaining with 1:40 left on the clock. Vikings looking to get another score here.
And you can see Caden McIver, as we said, he was lined up as that linebacker spot. They dialed him up on a blitz and it forced number 3 to try to escape the pocket and make a throw off the platform.
Yeah, lined up as a linebacker, but with some late pressure there. The Vikings allowing Darius Clark James to go out there and extend plays, which makes their heartbeat a little quick. But when you got some great coverage on the backside with guys like Journey McCoy, the bounce back from Nevada a couple years ago, is coming up with another interception. That is his 2nd of the year. McLeod, pressured, throws the pot pass late, and it is into the feet of the receiver. That was Darian Mirage. You know, that is an incomplete pass in that situation, What a really good job. The 6'1" frame of McLeod just jumping over the top of the defensive line and trying to drop that ball down and play.
Yeah, he had pressure all up in his face.
McLeod, 6 for 11, 113 yards and a touchdown, facing this tough man-to-man defense. And this ball, another drop today by Jake Calcagno. I think Jake might have had a drop or two on the season before this one, and he's already got 2 drops. And with the Vikings in the situation here, 2 incomplete passes to start, and only about 7 seconds has gone off the clock. If you can't get something going here on 3rd down and long, you are giving another opportunity to City College of San Francisco to try to drive down the field and get another score.
And another thing, you got to give your defense a little bit of a break, too.
That's a terrific point. The defense has been balling out, but the saying goes, you're only as good as your gas tank is. McLeod and Miller into the backfield, out of the shotgun spread. Single high safety. Pressure comes on the blitz, stepping up in the pocket. Delivery across the middle of the field is McLeod. Over to Jurion Dickey. Stays on his feet, eventually tripped up down to the 46-yard line. A gain of 12 on the play as he is tackled down by Elijah Hughes, and the Vikings get a first down.
It's a first down for the Vikings.
It is so nice to have Jurion Dickey on your football team, huh?
Yeah.
Number 42 has been a star for the Vikings this evening.
Just using those lengthy arms to get those stiff arms to keep himself up.
Yeah, he's 6'3", but man, that frame is so tall. And this ball airmailed over the top for Miles Dixon. Dixon did a really good job reading the cover 3 there by the defense. And just unfortunately, McLeod off the mark there to make it 2nd and 10. Yeah, I want to see what his arm span is, because obviously 6'3" at receiver is massive. But man, I know you call Kai Taylor Spidey, but with the hands and the arms of Jurion, it feels like he can just extend and bring out those webs to get the ball.
Call him Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, there you go. So, we officially got our first nickname here, Jurion Dickey, a.k.a. Mr. Fantastic. Going on the ground this time. Vikings haven't really used a traditional rush outside of the first quarter, and the clock will run here as the tackle is made by Sonny Vitale. It'll be 3rd down and 6 now, 3rd down and 5 officially, inside of 40 seconds to play. McLeod here on 3rd down, has the shotgun spread look, sidecar left. Looks back, has no check down, avoids the defender, uses his legs to extend the play down to the sideline, out of bounds. Did he get enough for the first? McLeod got just enough. By the skin of his teeth, McLeod scrambles forward for 5.5 yards, and the Vikings with the first down. No, they're going to say he was about 1/4 of a yard short. We got to go metric. He was centimeters short in this situation.
I mean, he may be short, but credit to Kalani there. He's got great mobility in the pocket.
DVC, that's their second charge.
Forces the Vikings to take a timeout here on 4th and inches as the ball is spotted down to the 36-yard line. Yeah, McLeod has really used his legs to his advantage today. There's been a lot of pressure in his face, but he's been able to shift, mobilize in the pocket, and then when there's nothing open, it goes out and extends the play. Unfortunately, that situation, though, you would have loved to see him have Ferrari Miller on that drop-up, but Miller just got caught up blocking on that mesh on the left side of the offensive line. Do we see another quarterback sneak?
It's possible here. If you see Miles Moore and Amani Elfadil come in the game, there's high chance for that. Trying to get some extra blockers going.
Yeah, just spread out that line a little bit. And it's just so hard to stop a quarterback sneak if you don't have 2 of those rushers inside of those A-gaps. Essentially, you can just go to the side that the defensive tackle or the one technique is and line up on. We've seen them run a 5-man front. Back in the day when I was playing here, we used to call it an Okie front. So let's see if there's going to be a head-up defensive lineman on the setter and Jaden Hoskins. Vikings will come out in a shotgun spread here. and it will be a fresh set of downs. The officials will move the chain, so it is first down with 25 seconds remaining on the clock.
We have a tight split here between the bottom two receivers. Got to expect maybe a switch here.
To the near side of the field, left wide open. Oh, that is a ball you're going to want back.
Yeah.
Jurion Dickey was wide open to the 12-yard line, and just miscommunication once more.
Bryce Heckard won with defense.
As great of a game as it has been for the Vikings offense, this has just been a little tough with some of these situations. Few balls just dropped a little far outside, or just not leading your wide receiver quite enough.
Yeah, they're leaving some plays on the table, and the score could probably be even better for the Vikings here had they made it and capitalized on them.
One timeout remaining. You gotta save that one for a kick. Flag comes in late. Swing pass over to Ferrari Miller. Miller with a stutter step trying to get out of bounds, isn't able to do so. Does pick up 8 on the play. Let's see what this flag is on. And so because the play clock was stopped, there should not be a 10-second runoff. Or pardon me, the incomplete pass, not the timeout.
Bryce Heckard, number 1, in on the tackle.
Bryce Heckard came up to make the tackle. Let's see what this flag is. They might wave it off. If they do wave it off, I believe the Vikings might have to be forced to take this timeout here. Vikings are lining up. I think the clock may start right as they blow the whistle. So it looks like they're going to wave off the penalty here. Pardon me, it's going to be an offsides on the defense. They're going to decline it. It'll be third down now.
And as we stated before, they're going to go back to that bunch, as you see on the bottom
So a
of the
late
screen.
substitution here from City College of San Francisco. They might have too many men on the field. That is exactly it. Pass over the near side. Ferrari Miller angling out of bounds to the 20-yard line. 4 seconds remaining on the clock. From here will be a 37-yard field goal attempt.
4 ticks remaining in the first half.
With 4 ticks, you can't really ever dare to do a quick outside pass, can you? Maybe at 6 seconds, but 4 seconds may just be a little too much.
Yeah, they're going to send out Sokol here.
So a career-long opportunity here for the freshman kicker out of Las Lomas High School, right down the road over at Walnut Creek. Looking to make this a 20-point advantage for the Vikings to bring up the half. 37 yards from the near hash mark, kicking towards the near sideline. Pardon me, the south sideline.
Defense, that penalty's declined. We have a first down.
So illegal substitution, penalty decline. 2 great plays there on check down passes to Ferrari Miller, setting up this 37-yard field goal attempt. Kicking left to right from the near hash mark. It is the right-legged kicker, and they will ice the kicker here. 2 timeouts left.
City College. That's your second.
And this is the interesting situation here. When you have 2 timeouts left as a coach at the JUCO level, you can actually call back-to-back timeouts. At the NFL level, you can't call back-to-back timeouts. That is a penalty. But at the JUCO level, you can use 2 consecutive timeouts. So let's see if San Francisco elects to try to ice the kicker 2 times. But that 87, he's locked in right now.
Yeah, I got to say Daniel Sokol's probably like one of the coolest kickers I've ever had on a team. He's out there doing celebrations every time he makes a kick. He's getting crazy with the team whenever there's music playing in the weight room.
I know you weren't able to make it out to that last game at Laney, but when he hit that 27-yarder and hit the 80-yard night across the field, man, that was electric. In the pregame, when I was talking to Coach Collins, he was just talking about how everybody on that sideline believes. They don't hope. They're not praying. They got faith. 37 yards. Arias, the long snapper. Fusick, the holder. Snap is off. Hold is down. The kick is up. Splits the uprights. And it is 27-7 here after the first 30 minutes of play. And what a celebration.
That's what I'm talking
Jumped
about
up.
right there.
Fusick carried him like he was riding a chair. let's call that the magic carpet, as Sokol able to knock down a career-long 37-yard line. And the score is 27-7 with the Vikings with the advantage. And let's get you caught up on how we got here. The Vikings on their first drive able to capitalize the 7-play, 34-yard drive for a touchdown off the legs of Jaden Macedo. After that, an explosive rush from the quarterback for the team in white and Darius Clark-James, a 35-yard rush capping off a 4-play, 58-yard drive to tie us up at 7-7. But from there, the Vikings scoring on 4 consecutive drives. It was a 15-yard pass from Kalani McLeod over to Ferrari Miller on the screen to make it 14-7, a 32-yard field goal by Daniel Sokol to make it 17-7, and then Kalani McLeod on the surprise quarterback sneak on 4th and inches made it 24-7, and then now the 37-yard career long for the freshman kicker and Daniel Sokol brings us to a score of 27-7 here at the halftime break. And with that, we'll take the timeout. Join us on the other side of the break. We've got a fun one here in the Valley. 27-7 the score here with 15 minutes on the clock to open up the second half of play. The Vikings with 15 first down to the 6 of City College. And really the difference today has been the turnovers. The Vikings forced a fumble that resulted in their first touchdown of the day, and they were also able to get an interception which set up that last field goal attempt.
Yeah, with San Francisco down by 20, I got to expect that they're going to be shifting less out of their load and 2 tight end looks to more of a spread offense. Try to push the ball downfield and make up for all these points.
Yeah, I mean, 3 scores is a lot. But at the same time, I just feel like you can't get out of your standard offense quite yet. I feel like, yes, you can show some of those outside-looking routes and some of those spread routes, but I think you still have to be disciplined. You still have to be pretty balanced as you come out. But for the Vikings, they've scored on 4 consecutive drives, and they're definitely going to be looking to do it once more. They deferred on the opening kickoff, forced a 3 and out. And now it's Jurion Dickey and Jake Calcagno as the 2 deep men for the Vikings, as this ball is booted away right to left. Red helmets, white jerseys, white bottoms with the red numerals. And this is an interesting look here from City College as they set up an angled kick. It's going to be fair caught by Amani Elfadil out to the 23-yard line, and that is where the Vikings will get their opening possession here in the half from the 23-yard line up the left side of the field. They'll be working left to right, and their green tops, green bottoms with the green helmets, the white numerals in the white trim.
Been playing football for a while. I've never seen somebody hold the ball on a kickoff.
Yeah, it's not too windy either. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe their tee got broken? That's the only thing I can think of. Leading passer on the game, Kalani McLeod, 8 for 16, 128 yards and a touchdown. Leading rusher is the quarterback Darius Clark-James for City College, 10 rushes for 85 yards. Leading receiver Jurion Dickey, 4 catches, 75 yards. And for the Vikings here, they will send out the freshman and Kalani McLeod from the far hash mark, 23-yard line as he hands the ball up over to Ferrari Miller, and Miller just getting so skinny through that hole. A pickup of 7 yards on the carry as he's taken down by Junior Adams. So the difference that I've seen with Ferrari Miller this year, last year he showed a lot of patience. He showed an ability to just be a bell cow back. This year, early on in the season, we saw that he developed a lot more of the passing game, but now his patience has just been so good, and that's really allowed him to just get some of these big chunk runs.
Right, he's allowing his blocks to develop and then just finding the creases within them.
Quick pass on the quick out, and it's caught on the sideline, kept his toes, is Miles Dixon, as that is his first reception. And one of the leading receivers for the Vikings, the leading receiver as he leads the NCFC in receptions up to this point, gets his first catch here in the opening minute of the second half. Substitution as Kai Taylor comes off on the field. We've seen Kai with a big explosive play or two of his own as well. Heavy set here, tight end and up back. They'll run power with the tight end. The cutback, Ferrari Miller out to the 45-yard line, breaks the tackle to the 40, sideline 25, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! 63-yard home run from number 10 in green and white.
See Amani Elfadil on the wing lead, and then Ferrari just cuts it back.
And you know, Ferrari's got that speed, that exotic car. Once you get him some space, it's a drag race and he'll win it every time.
And that's something you got to look out for as a defense. When you got polars or wings leading to one side, you try to scrape over, and then sometimes you leave a cutback lane for the running back, and it just ends up punishing you like it did there for San Francisco.
And that's exactly it. If you follow your lead blocker with Elfadil, you end up getting a nice chunk. He'd probably get about 8 yards, but because he was able to slow it down, get the cutback lane, and forced an awkward angle from the linebacker, and once he got free, that safety had no chance over the top, and 60-plus yards later, it is Miller in for the touchdown, making it 34-7. And you know what? We got a new leading rusher in the game. Ferrari Miller on 7 rushes, upwards of 90 yards. In that game against Laney College, he was held up a lot of times, actually, he only had a few yards for 3, 4, 2-yard gains, and then it was about 3 big runs that really exploded him, getting him up to that 94-yard mark. And so tonight, he's been getting chunks of 7 and 8 and taking it 60-plus yards. Kicking it left to right with his right leg. This one's going to be a squib kick, fielded down to the 20-yard line. That's the adjustment on special teams that the Vikings are making here, as they have struggled with their kickoff return game. And they'll struggle once more as the return is out to the 42-yard line. A great job by the return man. I believe that was Micah Hill, as he was finally pushed out of bounds by Garrick Isamanu. And so, Jordan, what do you have to do to fix your kickoff game in this situation? You've tried a squib kick, you've tried an angled kick, but unfortunately, the starting field position has been an average of about 42.
Well, the main problem I've been seeing is that the furthest outside contain, they're taught to trim the fat, as we would say in the special teams meetings, to try to squeeze in that returner, but they've been getting too far inside, and it's just been leading to open gaps in those lanes, and they've just been San Francisco's KOR has been able to take advantage of it.
Go route down the sideline into double coverage. This one nearly intercepted. Journey McCoy, as the deep safety came, undercut it. And that was a dangerous ball thrown by Darius Clark James at his 2nd and 10. The intended receiver was Jeremiah Nash. Nash played over at Feather River College last year. He is an extremely explosive receiver, first in the state in yards per game and yards per catch. And they tried to go with the deep ball. An interesting story, Nash is another one of those guys that got that UTEP offer a couple weeks ago alongside Ferrari Miller. Tied in that regards. Empty set here on the empty set spread. 2nd down and 10. Belt high snap. James with the quick out route. And a good job there by Alapati. In that situation where you get the quick out to the 5-yard line, I believe that was Imari Conley who caught the ball. Instead of diving in there and taking a bad angle, he just had to back up a little bit, keep the man in front of him, and live to find another down, making it 3rd down and 3. Staying in the empty set here on 3rd and 3 from the 48-yard line of the Rams. Working right to left from the 4 hash. James Clark out of the gun. Pressure comes late for the Vikings, stepping up into the pocket, able to avoid the defender, slides down for the 1st down is James Clark. A rush of 6 on the play. Marley Alapati credited with the tackle after the slide from the quarterback. And the Rams are in this TVC side of the field now. Staying on that far hash mark, and they'll continue to operate out of empty. You're right, Jordan. Vikings showing pressure. They'll drop out of it. Showing the spy. Stepping forward. Pot pass across the middle of the field. A hard hit. Got a huge tackle down to his backside. Santino Acevedo just smothering the defender. Smothering the wide receiver, I should say. A gain of 5.
And the big thing about going spreads, too, is that the longer you're in coverage, the going downfield, that it's gonna open up lanes for the quarterback to run. So if he decides to keep the ball, so it's another thing to look out for, because we've already seen him being dynamic with his legs.
Yeah, and I think that's why the Vikings have been sending a spy on it. A rush here from the running back, able to reverse the field, staying on his feet, and a great job by Zachary Black, making the 1st down. Tackle eventually made by Marley Alabadi. He's had a few different plays here, and it looks like 13 and White's going to be half a yard short. So the former Utah State Aggie makes it 3rd down and 2 after the rush. Another empty look here from Clark James. Clark James, quick pass on the out, and that's cut for the 1st down. That catch was made by number 13, Zachary Black, out of the backfield. Enough for the 1st down to the 35.
And out routes are harder to guard than you would think. When the timing's right, if the quarterback's timing is right and the ball placement's right, it's pretty hard to guard. So
yeah, those quick outs are incredibly difficult, especially if you're that hook defender and nobody's right there in the flats to pick it up, so you just have to come up and try to make the stop. Living at an empty set on this drive is Clark James. 3-step drop. He's going to step up in the pocket. Had a blocker in front of him. Had the ball stripped, and the Vikings fall on top of it. Jeremiah Thoney, the player of the week for the Vikings, comes up with another massive play. The third fumble on the day and the second loss from Darius Clark James. Just such a good job reaching in, picking the pocket, and forcing the fumble. And guess who? It's Marley Alapati once again, Johnny on the spot to get the recovery. And despite the great drive there from City College, it stalls out on the turnover.
Turnover circuits, turnover circuits, turnover circuits. Just stripping, punching at the ball, trying to get it. This is what it leads to. Developing those habits to force
rush
turnovers.
over the left-hand side. Ferrari Miller dragged down by the back of his jersey after a gain of 5 on the play. He was tackled to the floor by number 34, Dre Sofatui. But going into, like I was just about to say, 1 fumble, none lost this year for Darius Clark James. So the Vikings have changed the script for him, forcing 3 fumbles and 2 lost up today. Vikings stay on the ground here, trying to strip Ferrari Miller with Sonny Vitale. But just really strong arms, gets all those points of contact, and it makes it 3rd down and 4 off the 2-yard rush from Miller. Vikings bringing in Miles Dixon and Kai Taylor. They'll go shotgun spread. Sidecar right for Ferrari Miller. McLeod in at quarterback here. Facing the 1 high shell. Man-to-man coverage. That's what you expect to see, and that's what the Vikings have been dicing up to this point. A check here from City College on defense. They'll shift into the 2 high shell. 2-man under. Quick pass out into the flat, and it's Kai Taylor. Couldn't get enough for the first down. Kai Taylor ran a quick out of his own, only able to pick up a gain of 3 on the play, and he was taken down by Jalen Brown. It is 4th down, and the Vikings will send the punt team out there. And really, just got to tip your hat in that situation to City College. They were in a man-to-man. They saw the formation. They ended up checking out of it into a cover 2, and you had a flat defender there to cover the speed out, essentially, from Kai Taylor. Chess, not checkers.
And then the play before, they were just a lot more stout on those interior defensive linemen, even with the puller. Just able to stuff the run.
But when you got a weapon like Jacob Johnson as this ball all the way down to the 22-yard line, not quite inside of the 20, but a great punt there by JJ, flipping the sides of the field. 39 yards, but more importantly, got enough airtime under it to allow the coverage unit to get there. So despite the struggles that the Vikings have had on the kickoff, they have been doing a really good job in the punt game. That coverage has been sound.
Rams have the ball in their own territory, 24-yard line. They trail 34-17.
The score is 34-7. Vikings on their second possession here in the second half, having to punt it away after a great stop. And it seems like this is where City College is going to live for the rest of this half. Darius Clark James, 3 receivers to the near side. In the shotgun spread, empty set. Vikings showing a 2 high shell. Nickel unit for the Vikings as well. Stepping up into the pocket, delivers across the middle of the field, and a car crash, but somehow popping out of it was Imari Conley. Conley with a gain of about 17 as a flag comes in late. Santino Azevedo eventually got into that pile. What a tough catch across the middle of the field. And we talked about how there are so many potential Division I players that are going to be playing in this game tonight. But those guys that have been at the D1 level, they have been shining. Amari Conley has been the leading receiver for City College as a bounce back from San Jose State.
And then those penalties are just killing San Francisco.
Celesi Mufua Hingano, the right tackle out of El Cerrito. The 6'4" sophomore called for that personal foul. And yeah, it's just, you got to keep your composure. It doesn't matter what the score is. 34-7, clock continued to run down, 8:16 remaining in the third quarter to play. From the far hash mark, it'll still be 1st down and 10 because the first down was picked up before that penalty. And the speed off the right side, cutting it up to the 50-yard line, breaks a tackle out to the 40, eventually hawked down to the 22. It might be a hip drop tackle as a couple flags come in late. Ananias Walker able to get the tackle on Zachary Black, but the speed of the former 3-star running back, ooh, a huge run.
Personal foul. Defense. Number 1. Horse collar. Half the distance.
They call a horse collar, not a hip drop. But regardless, that'll be half the distance to the goal. No, this might be spotted down to the 1-yard line because the ball was at the 16. No, they will call half the distance to the goal. So I believe if a personal foul occurs inside of the 17-yard line, it is always half the distance to the goal. It is not spotted down to the 2-yard line, or 1-yard line in this case. So it's first and goal. They'll stay on the ground with the quarterback keeper using the lead blocker, staying on his feet, dragging the pile, and the rugby scrum is true for Darius Clark James, pushing the pile, and he is in for the touchdown. An answer for City College of San Francisco, as it is 34-13. Just a really good job keeping his legs chopping, running. An extra point to try to make it a 20-point game. Ryan Rodas hasn't been on the field quite very much at all tonight. Only his second sight here. Snap is off, the hold is down, kick is up. And the score, 34 Vikings, 14 City College, as they were able to get the touchdown off the explosive run set up by Zachary Black. And it's Darius Clark James with a 5-yard rush for the touchdown. City's got their answer. It ain't over till it's over. And after the Vikings had to punt it away, you got to expect that they're going to come out here and try to get a nice elongated drive. And I expect to see a nice little balance of pass and run. The Vikings are going to set their deep men up to the 5-yard line. And they will stay with this awkward holder down angled kick for Oderon Kenny.
Yeah, you really just don't see that often.
And honestly, in this situation for City
That could be a
College,
flag there.
yeah,
Yep.
the late flag comes in for unnecessary roughness on the kickoff unit. So the ball was originally spotted down to the 32-yard line, and with the penalty, this will go all the way out to the 47 if this is what we think it is. But going back to it, I think you see a guy that already had a 40-plus yard punt return on you, and then you have Mr. Fantastic himself all the way back there. You're just going to go for the quick, or the fair catch kick.
That'll be before it's from the end of the kick, automatic first down
Just
for DVC.
unnecessary on San Francisco's part. I mean,
Like we were talking about, this team averages 15.2 penalties per game.
yeah, you can see why right here.
So the Vikings gifted a tremendous starting field position. But unfortunately, this has been the average field position essentially for City College of San Francisco. On the scorebook, it's saying 5 penalties for 60 yards. I feel like it's been more, but hey, I'm just a guy on a microphone. Kalani McLeod will be the quarterback alongside Ferrari Miller once more. And it's a shotgun spread. Swing pass over to Miller to the backfield. Jump cut back to the 40-yard line. A hold will end up bringing this one back likely. Pushed out of bounds by Sonny Vitale. Just a really good job by Ferrari Miller on the 12-yard catch and run. But I believe they're going to call this one on DVC on a hold.
Holding offense, number 4.
And that is exactly it. Called against Jake Calcagno.
That's something we've been seeing lately. In regards to receiving from Ferrari, out of these spread looks, they're sending him out on quick swings, trying to get him in open space and let him do the rest.
I mean, that's the name of the game, right? Athletes in space, just trying to get your best guys open and making a play.
Ball goes back
Ball will be set back to the 30-yard line, but now you're in a tough situation on 1st down and 20. You got to think the Vikings will go with some quick screen passes or quick slants. Facing a too-high shell. Defensive backs in the near side of the field, pushed up all the way close. Quarterback keeper on the read option, and McLeod just diving down to the feet. And another unsportsmanlike, this one called against Junior Adams most likely. Just getting caught up on that left side. You can't have it. 15 yards and the automatic first down. You hate to see it for City because they just got the touchdown to make it a 3-possession game once again. And you're coming out here and you're shooting your team in the foot. It's selfish.
I mean, it's really one thing trying to establish dominance and be a tough team, but there's at a certain point you just got to line it back up and stop the extra curriculars.
It's called tough, not stupid.
Exactly.
You can show your toughness between the surface and when the ball is in play. No need to do it on the extracurriculars there. For the Vikings, however, dig yourself out of a really tough situation on 1st and 20, and now it's 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Near hash mark, staying on the ground with Miller. Following his lead blocker, breaks out of one tackle, couldn't quite get out from the ankle pick. And the tackle was made by Luke Hill, the sophomore out of Temple Hills. That is out of Maryland. So, an interesting story with that guy, Luke Hill, another very highly touted recruit, a 4-star cornerback originally signed with Oregon in the 2020 class. Got in some trouble offside of the field, had to step away from some ball for a while, and now he's back here at City College as a academic sophomore. Made a nice play in that situation. 6:03 remaining. Vikings with the 20-point advantage. From the far hash mark, shotgun spread. They'll go back with the swing pass to Ferrari Miller once again. Top of the numbers, has to cut it back. Took a hard hit on the play by Bradlin Amsden, pardon me. And the defensive lineman holding Miller to only about a yard on the reception. Clock will continue to run. You can't necessarily get into 4-minute offense at this point. You still have to run your offense and push it down the field. But I think it's just a good job by the City defense in this situation, really forcing the checkdowns from the Vikings, not allowing anything over the top. Shotgun spread once again. Off the left hip is Miller. McLeod with the chest high snap. 3 steps. Rolls out to his left-hand side. McLeod with some space. Out to the 40. Slides down after a gain of 14 on the play. And the legs of McLeod have been dynamic tonight. Kalani McLeod, more of a pocket passer than a traditional drop back or more than a dual threat guy. But when you turn your back, he has made you pay with his legs. And you know,
another personal foul.
Same guy as well. 2 personal fouls on number 2. This drive has been elongated by the legs of Miller, but more than anything, it's Junior Adams, the freshman out of Stockton, allowing the Vikings to continue to move down the field.
And it's just all discipline. You got to credit the Vikes for keeping their cool, even when they're getting pushed after the plays, getting a little more chippiness out there.
And that just really speaks to the discipline that Coach Collins instills in his team. Coach Collins expects perfection from opening minute to the final minute. And that's what we've seen tonight. Vikings playing a disciplined game on the other side. City College not having much success there. Vikings brought in 2 tight ends as a couple flags come down after only about a yard rush on the play. Kahanu Kalahiki came in from his safety spot to get the tackle. And really, it's been City College doing a good job against the Vikings offense, really filling gaps, but then just leaving somebody wide open or a 15-yard penalty pushing this ball forward. It's a really interesting dynamic on this drive because the Vikings, I mean, their offense hasn't been as dynamic as we've seen up to this point. A holding call will bring up the second 1st and 20 for the Vikings on this drive. This time it is on the 34-yard line of the Rams, however. We haven't seen Macedo in this half so far, and the Vikings have been living out of the shotgun spread. McLeod with the belt high. McLeod rolling to his right-hand side. Pressure comes, able to avoid the pressure, throws it over to Spidey as that ball is batted away. Kai Taylor was the intended receiver, but 3 different defensive backs came in to lay big hits. The man that got the deflection is Kalike Cheeves, the National Division leader in pass breakups, and he's had about 3 tonight. And this is what I want to see the Vikings get back into. They got away from these bunch formations because of the fact that City hasn't been playing as much man-to-man coverage on this drive. Tight bunch against the zone coverage. This one bobbled and dropped. I don't know what's going on, but you got to get some stickum on these gloves. The Vikings have been dropping quite a few passes today.
Yeah, but going back to what you were saying about the bunch, out of bunch you're able to create more space for your receivers and get those natural picks, as you were saying. Get some switch releases going, confuse the DBs.
And whistles on the field here as there is a couple different Rams that are leaving the field. And it looked like it was number 2, Junior Adams, that hobbles off the field after the play. So if that happens, or if Junior Adams is out here as he hobbles off, Adams and Beiser will both be out of this game, so City College will have lost both their starting defensive ends. Bunch formation in the near side. Jurion Dickey coming back on the screen pass, run into the sideline, and just gets table-topped by Kalike Cheeves. Only a gain of 4 on the play, and the Vikings are in a tough situation here. From the 32-yard line, this is gotta feel like it's out of Sokol's range. It would be about a 48-yard field goal. And the Vikings offense will stay on the field. So officially a 49-yard field goal in this situation. They're not going to send Sokol out. So, you know, last time we were in a situation like this, it was right before the half in the last game against Foothill. It was Kai Taylor in the front side of the end zone after Kalani McLeod did an amazing job breaking out of a sack from a Foothill defender.
Yeah, probably going to see all verts here for sure.
All verts versus the 2-high shell. And if this is cover 3, the Vikings got to feel pretty comfortable with the inside guy being Miles Dixon. Clock goes all the way down to 0. The Vikings will try to get this delay a game to send the ball back to give JJ a little more space to work. And that's exactly what it is. I always wonder about this situation when you're an opposing coach. Do you take the 5-yard penalty and give the Vikings an opportunity, or do you decline it? Yeah, exactly. And I actually like the fact that you decline that penalty. Obviously, DVC wants space back so they can give their guy a little more room. And now Micah Hill is back. We're going to likely see an angled kick here for Jacob Johnson.
Yeah, not taking that penalty increases the likelihood he kicks it into the end zone.
And JJ with a high end-over-end kick. This one takes a bounce inside of the 10-yard line before going out of play. Let's see where it went out. The official on the sideline will say it went out to the 8-yard line. And another great punt there by JJ. So from the 38-yard line out to the 8-yard line, that's a 30-yard punt on the play. And JJ pins San Francisco inside of the 10-yard line. Hey, 5-star punter for a reason, right?
Yep.
JJ, a great athlete, played basketball, lacrosse, track and field, golf, and football. I didn't even know you could be a 5-sport athlete in high school. Oh, and that exactly is what we were talking about before. JJ, golf team.
Yeah, he just has great placement on the ball. Wherever he wants it to go, it's going there.
And they're going with Zakari back in the backfield, the back who got that huge explosive run in the previous drive. And this one, a great run to start the drive, as it is 2nd down and 4 from the 14-yard line now. 2:13 remaining in this third quarter of play. Trailing by 20 are the Rams. Vikings looking like they're sending pressure. They will send it with Alapati blitzing off the edge. Nearly getting there. And a great job there on that post route. The catch made by Jeremiah Nash. Eventually tackled by Ananias Walker. A first down out to the 31-yard line. It was just a little bit of a delayed blitz off that left side by Marley Alapati. I think that hesitation was part of the reason why he was just a hair shy of getting that hit on the quarterback. 4-man front for the Vikings. They'll send the blitz directly into the running back in JT Foreman. And Foreman has been tough running up the middle all night long. He'll get out to the 35-yard line on a gain of 4 as he is eventually hit down by Santino Acevedo. But man, Tom Floorman, he is right there in the thick of it. Some blue-collar work for him tonight. Coming back after missing the last 3 games. And they'll give the ball over to Foreman once again. Foreman eventually swarmed down, and it's Acevedo with the ace.
Ace does a great job of driving his feet right there on that tackle.
And that's really what you got to do. When you got a powerful back that doesn't go down on first contact, you've got to drive your feet, and you've got to have more will and more heart. This will bring up a 3rd down and 2. 40 seconds remain. Looking towards the sideline is Darius Clark-James getting the call. You do have that helmet communication. That's one of the changes that has gone on this year. 3 receiver set. They'll stick on the ground. The quarterback with the keeper. 1 man a beat. And a tough job getting right in front of him. It was Journey McCoy just setting his feet, holding up, not allowing a touchdown run from the quarterback in Darius Clark-James. And a big pickup on the play. 12-yard rush on the play for the first down pickup. Clark-James now working with a little bit of momentum. And this will bring us to the end of the quarter. 34-14, both teams scored a touchdown here in the 3rd quarter play, but the Vikings with a 20-point advantage as there's 15 minutes on the clock. Win and get in. Vikings making a push for a playoff berth and a share of the Base 6 title here on DVC Vikings Live. All the celebrities are here. The NCFC commissioner, and now we've got the SID himself, David Silverstein, joining us up here in the booth. Right here, it is 15 minutes remaining as Clark-James will roll out to his right-hand side. Eyes down the field, throws it late, coming back for the ball. A great job there by Jeremiah Nash. Fighting back to the ball, saw his quarterback scrambling, and he'll make the catch to the 20. Ananias Walker with the tackle, and honestly, that is just what you expect to see with the dynamic dual threat ability of Darius Clark-James.
Yeah, the Vikings got to be able to contain off the edge there. DN lost contain, and he was able to extend that play with the receiver working back to him.
This is going back to discipline on the side of the Vikings here. The rush off the edge breaks a couple different Vikings tacklers as he goes forward for a gain of 4. And we were talking about this earlier. The Vikings were doing a really good job just trying to get 11 hats to the football, and that's exactly what you need to do in this situation. Late in the game, you're starting to get a little bit tired. You got to go ahead and still fight all the way through the full 60 minutes.
Yeah, this is when all the conditioning in the off season, those gassers, those 400s on the track, this is where it kicks in.
And the Vikings will send out a too-high shell to face the three-man there. Dropping the ball momentarily, having to slide down after only a gain of 1 on the play. We saw this in the opening quarter where the mesh point was messed up between the running back and the quarterback for City. And this time around, happens once again. Oremi Oshewa credited with the tackle. This brings up a 3rd down and 5 against the team that is the #1 team in red zone scoring percentage in the 3C2A. Can the Vikings break this streak here? 3 receivers to the far side. Out of the shotgun is Clark James. Vikings with some pressure showing off the edge. And this is what the Vikings have been doing. They've been showing 3 different people showed up on the tight end side of the field, the strong side of the formation, and then they'll shift the defensive tackles in late. And City College will have to burn a timeout here. 13:03 remaining in the 4th quarter play, trailing by 40, and we'll keep it here. Get you caught up on some stats across the board. Darius Clark James, aside from the turnovers, he's been having a pretty good game. 10 for 13 through the air, 152 yards. Had that interception and a near interception as well. He is the leading rusher for the Rams, 13 rushes for 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the leading receiver is Imari Conley, 6 receptions for 138 yards. On the other side for the Vikings, Kalani McLeod, 13 for 22, 147 yards, a touchdown, and Forey Miller upwards above that 100-yard mark, 11 rushes for 109 yards, had that 67-yard touchdown, and that is his lone touchdown of the game. Jurion Dickey, the leading receiver for the Vikings here, hasn't had a catch in the second half, if I'm not mistaken, but he has 4 catches for 75 yards, and the lone touchdown has gone to Forey Miller on that screen pass to open up the scoring. After the timeout here from City College in San Francisco, it is 3rd down and 5 from the 15-yard line, 13:03 remaining. Coming out in an empty set is Clark James. Vikings showing picket coverage on the 10-yard line right now. Stepping up, across the middle of the field, hard fought, brought it in, was Conley as a flag comes in late. A really good job there by Conley. Santino Acevedo was in there on the coverage, but he just used his 5'10 frame to box out Acevedo, and almost like playing basketball in that situation, inside of the post, clearing some space to get that ball. And see what this flag is on, however. Maybe a late hit after the catch, I'm not exactly sure. Looking towards the sideline, it will likely be against DVC.
Defense, pass interference, #1. That penalty.
So pass interference called against #1 Ananias Walker, so instead they will keep the penalty.
No, I'm sorry. First down.
So it is 1st down and goal from the 5-yard line. Pardon me, the 6-yard line. Near hash mark for Clark James and the Rams. Trying to get back-to-back scores here to cut the lead down as it currently sits at 20.
We're going to stick with the empty formation.
Yeah, and I think it just gives you the most options passing, and then if the play breaks down, Clark James can just use his legs. The best team in the red zone. Motions Foreman out, sidecar left. Handoff. Nope, it's a quarterback keeper. And another touchdown for the Rams. Both touchdowns here in the half have gone the way of the legs of Darius Clark James. And the score is 14 here, awaiting the extra point. You want to burn some clock and play some conservative ball a bit, but at this point, I think you got to let it rip. 34-20 the score. After the great drive, Darius Clark James brings the Rams down the field, trying to cut it down to 13 here. Able to do so with the PAT off the leg of Ryan Rodas. He is 3 for 3 on the day. A perfect 34 for 34 on the season. We were talking about this before, and it ain't over till it's over. And despite all the times that City College has shot themselves in the foot the second half, they're still in it.
And you see with that last play, they motioned the slot receiver into the backfield, and they went with that mesh. It's just so hard to stop at times, especially when you have a dynamic quarterback. There's just so many possibilities with handing it off or just taking it straight up the gut like he did on that play. And then when he's got that amount of speed, that amount of power as a quarterback, it's difficult.
And that's exactly what we saw from the Vikings a little earlier on the year when they were putting Ferrari Miller into the slot and then motioning him in the backfield to give you a little bit of a different look. City College doing something very similar with JT Foreman. They put him in the slot and they ended up bringing him into the backfield, and then just another lead blocker for the legs of Darius Clark-James. It looks like City College will elect to continue with this angled kick, and they're targeting Amani Elfadil to get the fair catch. Do so once more. This one back, and Jurion Dickey an opportunity to take it from the 25-yard line. Top of the numbers, Dickey bounces outside to the 40, has a man wrapped around his ankle, and a great job there by Luke Hill just holding on and preying on the ankle of Jurion. A 25-yard return, call it 24 out to the 39-yard line, and that's where the Vikings offense will get another start. That is a great adjustment taken by the Vikings there. Elfadil had just been calling a fair catch, but when you got your athletes so great back there and give them an opportunity, and they did so there. Martise Ferguson comes in for his second drive of the game. And Kalani McLeod is the quarterback still. We've seen a few switches between the quarterbacks as both of them give you a different look. McLeod has gotten every snap here in the second half. Hand the ball off over to Ferguson, and Ferguson runs into a brick red wall. Sonny Vitale joined with Lazarus Tulali. Second down as the clock continues to run. It's a 13-point lead. Obviously, you want to use a lot of clock, but you got to get yourself going right now, and that's what the Vikings are doing with this bunch set to the far side. Shotgun spread. Looking towards the back, running the wheel route. Pressure comes in late. Having to roll out to his left, stays behind the line and just has to eat the sack. Kahanu Kalahiki getting the sack on the play. McLeod did his best to create, but the coverage over the top was there.
I'd like to see DVC getting back to some of those screens they threw earlier in the first half with Ferrari. Try to get more space that way with blockers out in front.
Garrett Isamanu hasn't had a catch tonight. He'll check out as Jurion Dickey comes in here on third down and long. 11-10 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Shotgun spread. McLeod steps up. McLeod looking for a lead blocker. Throws it last second. Able to complete it out to the 45-yard line. Miles Dixon with the catch. And it looks like Kalani McLeod was not able to stay behind the line of scrimmage. I was just about to say. So the interesting thing about the quarterback in this situation is his whole body has to get past that line of scrimmage. If any piece of his body is behind the line of scrimmage, it will still count as a legal forward pass. But it looks like he just drifted a little too far forward. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty and a loss of down, and the Vikings are going to have to send in the punt unit. 3 and outs, not allowing your offense or not allowing your defense any time to breathe, and you got to feel a little claustrophobic in this situation despite the fact that you got a 13-point lead. I feel like the walls are closing in on you as this lead continues to dwindle down. Let's see the leg and the strength of Jacob Johnson on display. It looks like it's going to send out a... They were late with the substitution as they were trying to send in a punt block unit. For San Francisco will take the timeout, and this might come to bite them in the rear end. 2 timeouts burned, 10:38 remaining in the fourth quarter play, and we'll take the timeout alongside with them here on DVC Vikings Live. Punter comes out to the field. The punt block unit does look like it is still out onto the field for City College. JJ's going to have to send this ball away. Low snap, bobbled down, able to get this kickoff, and it is a high winder. Drop down to the 30-yard line, takes a DVC bounce, stays in play inside of the 20-yard line, and that's where the Vikings will take it right down at the 20. Flipping the sides of the field once more. Jacob Johnson on the 47-yard punt. That is about all three phases of play. Offense, defense, and special teams. Early on, the offense was able to keep their end of the bargain, but in the last few drives, they have had some difficulties. Just some great adjustments from City College, and also the fact these two coaching staffs know each other very well. 9 years over at City College of San Francisco as the head coach for Coach Collins before coming here to DVC. And those tendencies possibly starting to be read on. Three-step drop out of the shotgun. Crossing right across the middle of the field. Cutting it back, top of the numbers. A shoulder shiv won't be enough to get him down. But that is a big pickup of 15 yards by Jeremiah Nash. That is a uncharacteristic play. Typically a very disciplined player in Wesley Garton just threw the shoulder instead of going ahead and making the form tackle. That allowed a few extra yards at the end of the play. Hurrying up to the ball is Clark James. Handoff up the middle of the field. This time stuffed and taken down. 2 yards on the carry there. As Santino Acevedo able to take down the 5'9 Zachary Black. And it's a 2-yard gain on the play, but I think that big hit from Acevedo might just be the little bit of juice that you need to go ahead and just start laying the lumber. Play physical and just out-physical this Rams team. Rolling out to his right-hand side, checks it down at the last second. Nash falling down at the 42-yard line. Ananias Walker on that sideline, credited with the tackle. And it is 3rd down now, 3rd and 6. Clock continues to tick down, 9:20 remaining. 13-point is the lead for the Vikings here as it's 34-21. From the 44-yard line. Working out a 3-receiver set near hash mark. Clark James out of the shotgun. Quarterback keeper, lead draw, diving down. He'll be a yard short. And you've got to believe that City College will go for it on 4th down and 1 here at the 40-yard line. Santino Acevedo able to get his helmet into that pile to hold it to 4th down.
4th and a yard.
Yeah, I'm thinking they go with another
blitz.
RPO maybe.
I think the Vikings have got to send pressure here. You either got to send pressure or you got to have a spy. And the Vikings are overloading the left side of the line. 13 seconds left on the play clock. 4th down and 1. 8:23 remaining. Clock counting down. James Clark, shotgun snap. Pressure comes into his face. Thrown over the top. Undercut and intercepted. Journey McCoy on the trail technique got right in front of Isaiah Keish, and the Vikings with a massive interception on 4th down get the turnover.
And the Vikings did dial pressure right there. Had to throw it up, had to get rid of it, and then great play.
What a great job in coverage. You're left on an island. You had enough time to get the throw off. Didn't panic for a moment. Was the steady legs of Journey McCoy. Undercuts it, and he gets his 2nd interception of the game and his 3rd on the season.
That is a huge momentum shifter.
11 minutes was the start time when City College took the field. 3 minutes burned off the clock here. Vikings staying on the floor. And the ground game has been stuffed.
And I think the main reason why they haven't been able to sustain drives for the Viking offense is the 1st down play has not been productive as of the last few drives.
Exactly. The goal for a 1st down play is not necessarily to get another 1st down. If that's the byproduct that happens and you just so happen to be happy about it. But the 1st down play is to set up a 2nd down and intermediate, a 2nd down and short, and give you higher probability plays to go out there and go ahead and pick up the 1st down. You hit the nail on the head right there, Jordan. And the Vikings are going to elect to use as much clock as possible here with a 13-point lead, 7:29, tick, tick, tick. Miller and McLeod out of the shotgun. The motion Dixon across the formation, making it a trips look. A slow snap, and that's going to be a false start on the Vikings. And then when you add on false starts and holding calls that we've seen, that has really been the bane of the Vikings' existence here after that opening drive of the second half.
Penalty makes it 2nd and 17.
And more than anything, you got to give credit where it's due as well. City College has done a really good job after that. Those first 2 drives essentially in the half. They struggle with personal fouls. They struggle with that 67-yard touchdown run from Ferrari Miller. But since then, they've been playing some hard-nosed football, losing both their starting defensive ends as well. Time to throw for McLeod, scanning the field. The whole shot down the sideline, climbing the ladder is Kai Taylor. Kai Taylor able to pick up a gain of 15 on the play, and it is still 3rd down and 3.
He's on the ball.
That is how far back you were in that situation. You get the whole shot against the cover 2. Usually that's a 1st down, but because it's 2nd down and 17, it still sets up a 3rd down. 3rd and 3, the clock will continue to run down inside of 6:30. This will be a massive 1st down for the Vikings here if they can pick it up off the interception of Journey McCoy. Points off turnover has been the difference in this game so far. Man-to-man coverage being shown as Dixon motions across the formation. Late pressure, the blitz is there, throw on the quick out. Dixon turns the corner for the 1st down.
Great timing, great ball placement. So as we said before, those out routes, those quick out routes, they're so hard to guard.
And usually that's what you want. You want man-to-man coverage against a quick out, but that is just a better play to your number. The Vikings have 4 different number 1 receivers, but Miles Dixon, your leader in receptions. Leading the NCFC in receptions is Miles Dixon. And he comes up with his 4th catch. And more than anything, a 1st down means more time burned off the clock. Every single second matters as you trail by 13. This time it's a zone coverage as City College sets up. Ferrari Miller able to squeak through. Broke down about 7 different City players as Miller is able to get a really difficult 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, I do not know how he got past the line of scrimmage. They read that perfectly.
They went student body left as they pulled both the guard and tackle. And it seems like Miller just hid behind that line at 5'10" and was able to get a hard 3 yards. And the clock will run. With 2 timeouts burned early in the half by City College, it's DVC in the driver's seat. And they are in a 4-minute offense looking to burn every second away. Sprint right, flag comes in late, likely going to be a false start.
False start, offense, number 4.
False start against the offense. That one is called against Jake Calcagno. And that'll bring the Vikings back, and once again, penalties, man. They are hurting the Vikings. Second down and 12 after the 5-yard penalty on the first start. But the Vikings will be able to take the snap just outside of 4 minutes remaining. Vikings get the ball up at 4 seconds. Pump fakes, going across the middle. And this one's brought in by Jake Calcagno. Calcagno just working that deep 15-yard in. And the momentum forces him to slide about 4 or 5 yards after he makes the catch on the ground. And that is another 1st down. The Vikings are going to be able to bring this one inside of the 2-minute warning at this point, or 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed. They're burning up a lot of time with this drive.
And the 4-minute offense has been executed to perfection up to this point for the Vikings, despite the fact that they've had a few penalties that push them back. The Vikings have got to taste the playoffs right now. Heavy set off that left side. Elfadil and Miles Moore lined up as 2 extra blockers. Miller, Shifty, but 4 different Rams will drop in for a loss of 2. Ahead of the pile was Sonny Vitale. The Vikings will have to snap it one more time before the 2-minute timeout. It'll be 2nd and 12 for the Vikings here. 25 seconds currently on the play clock. The Vikings are probably going to snap this one at about the 2-minute and 7-second mark. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point because you're always going to take a 2-minute timeout. Now it's a matter of protecting the ball. Selling out to stop the run. That's what City College is doing. And a penalty flag on the play. I think they might call this on a false start of Miles Dixon.
False start, offense, number 9.
Miles Dixon called for the false start. That's a trend that you do not want to see continue. Miles Dixon had 3 false starts in that last game against Laney after not having any previous to the season. But in these situations, the Vikings take the false start, and more than anything, that is actually not a bad play for the Vikings, because with that, it forces City College to take the timeout. Because the clock continues to run and you get the fresh 25 yards, you're essentially sacrificing 5 yards on the false start for that play. So, you know Coach Collins a little better than I do. Is this man playing 4D chess right now?
Yeah, he's extremely savvy. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that on purpose.
That one nearly went over my head. Using a penalty to continue to extend the clock and force the timeout taken by City. I've tipped my hat quite a few times today, but Coach Collins, I tip my hat to you, sir.
And at the very least, they don't convert. They don't get the first down. Drive stalls out. You've given your defense a lot of resting time.
You got to think about it in this situation here. So you take another snap to get through the 2-minute timeout. And if you do not pick up the first down in that situation, you're still able to drive the clock all the way inside of the next snap. Will probably be taken at about the 1-minute and 15-second mark after the 2-minute timeout, of course. And then that punt will allow JJ to put a lot of air underneath that. He'll probably burn another 6 yards through the air. A lot of time coming off the clock, and when you're trailing by 13, that is tough. Martise Ferguson, hit stick at the end of the play, right at the line of scrimmage. Sonny Vitale, when he's had the opportunity, he has laid the wood. Penalty flag on the play. They're going up to Coach Collins. This might be a targeting. No, instead it's an illegal substitution. 12 players on the field. And once again, these are the penalties that are hurting City. You can't take a timeout and have 12 men on the field. It's just unacceptable. And with that, the play will get off the clock because you're going to accept the penalty. So then the clock now goes down to 2:05. You still have to run another play. But what would have essentially been a tackle right at the line of scrimmage, making it a 3rd down and long, gives you an opportunity to set something up now. And for the Vikings now, do you dare set up a long passing play? You can burn 5 seconds with the pass play.
We'll see how Coach Collins goes about this.
The clock is stopping currently.
Yeah.
The clock, I believe, should have kept running? I'm not sure. The officials are going to have to take a timeout to figure out the situation. I think in this situation, the clock should have continued to run after the restart. It should be a 25-second play clock, and the clock should have kept running, so the Vikings would essentially waste another timeout with the 2-minute timeout of City College. So the officials are going to talk this one out, and I believe that is what you're going to get. Let's take a quick timeout as the officials figure this one out. Be back on the other side here on DVC Vikings Live. So the penalties continue to burden City College. After that play was an unsportsmanlike conduct called against number 8 for City. That was on Dion Williams, one of the defensive linemen. That's a 15-yard penalty, and the Vikings will essentially that'll be the dagger.
Yeah, and City's coaches are already leaving the booth, so.
After the play,
Has been ejected from the game.
and number
An
8,
ejection.
Dion Williams, will be ejected. Insult to injury on top of everything. The fans are singing, and the Vikings have victory on their mind. Clock runs all the way down to the 2-minute timeout, and the Vikings are singing goodbye to City College's San Francisco in this situation. So, I got a fun one for you guys. The last time Diablo Valley College beat City College's San Francisco. Jordan, you want to make a guess of when?
I'd say, man, 1990s maybe?
You were actually close. So, in my time, I've been here since 2014, haven't had success against City. The closest was, I believe, in 2015 up at City. Vikings had a big lead, but weren't able to go out there and get it done. The last time DVC has beaten City College of San Francisco, 1989.
Sheesh.
The starting safety for the Vikings, Mike Darr, longtime head coach, legendary head coach here, was the starting safety for the Vikings that year. Credit goes out to Coach Dom pulling that stat out. But for the first time since 1989, DVC will get a victory over City College of San Francisco. This will end a 36-yard drought. Victory formation for the Vikings here. And more extracurriculars. This is going to be an ejection called against number 5. Luke
We've
Hill.
been seeing this all night, just not undisciplined.
Undisciplined play here.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So the Vikings will be able to take this one all the way down and get the victory. The final score likely going to be 34-21. Let's give you some final stats here from this game that has been entertaining throughout. 19 first down to the 10 first downs. DVC has the advantage in that category. 8 by the way of passing to the 1 of the way of passing for City College of San Francisco. 9 rushing first downs for San Francisco to the 8 of Diablo Valley College. And the Vikings, part of the reason why they were so successful tonight has been third down efficiency. One of the best teams in the 3C2A in that category. They went 7 for 10 for a perfect 70 yards on third down tonight. The Vikings are going to end up running about 51 plays to the 36 of City College. Time of possession, 1948 for City, 1742. But the difference in this one has been points off turnovers and forcing turnovers. The Vikings able to get 2 interceptions and force 3 fumbles against the dynamic quarterback in Darius Clark James. 2 of them ended up being fumbles that were lost possession-wise. Kalani McLeod ending the night 13 for 22, 147 yards and a touchdown. Ferrari Miller, the leading rusher for the Vikings, 11 attempts for 109 yards and a touchdown. Leading receiver is Jurion Dickey, 4 catches, 75 yards, had the 31-yard catch to break things open and set up the opening score for the Vikings. On the other side, Darius Clark James, 10 for 13, 152 yards, 2 interceptions on the evening. I think I got to restart my stats. These numbers seem a little bit off here. So pardon me, my stats were off. 24 first downs to the 16 play count, 63 for the Vikings to the 51 of City College. And I got to give you the whole rundown now because my stats were delayed. 17 for 28, Kalani McLeod, 184 yards and a touchdown. Ferrari Miller's 14 rushes for 108 yards and a touchdown. Jurion Dickey, 5 catches, 77 yards. Coach Dard gets the Gatorade bath from his players there as the Vikings clinch a playoff berth. And who cares about stats? The Vikings are 9-1. They get the victory. They will claim their share of the Base 6 title. And the Vikings will get their first victory against City College of San Francisco in 36 years.
And I just got to say, it just speaks volumes about the culture change that DVC has undergone here. And it's been special to be a part of as a player. I mean, the discipline that we're instilled with, the amount of effort and the amount of perfection that goes into each week of practice to achieve this, it's just been amazing to be a part of as a player, I would say, personally speaking.
And Jordan, it's been such a pleasure having you last few games. You're going to ball out next year. I hope I can get you on the call because obviously playoffs are on our mind, but for Damani Jackson, Jordan Sandoval, Jelani Wiggins running our replay tonight and also running the music, Callie Medina running cameras. We're going to take a quick break right now, and the lead SID for the Vikings, for the 3C 2A, and Dave Silverstein is here with us. So we're going to take a quick timeout and be back to talk about the playoff situations with him. Stay tuned.